We have a lot of betting sites that we refer to on the show, and I'm glad we weren't able to have odds and gamble on this because I would have lost for sure. So something was left behind. We were not. Yeah. We were just out here not too long ago for Stars.
We were, and we were under the beautiful pavilion they have. But Hermitage Golf Course, just first class all the way. Just love it. It's been a long time since I played this course, so I'm a little concerned about my game.
Does that matter, though? That you
no. He said he's concerned about his game. No matter what course we're at.
I haven't played this course. Oh, as opposed to all the other courses that you play?
You know, like
I play once every 3 years. I haven't played here in a while, so.
I last played in September at the Brett Peterson Invitational.
The last time I played.
Predators Foundation. But the last time we were here, Aaron runs the Stars. And so afterwards, Derek's on the board of Stars. He played with his group, made it through the day.
Mm-hmm.
We took the pictures. We had some fun. And then afterwards, they found, a cover for a driver.
Mm-hmm.
And it has the initials DM on it. And Aaron was like, I couldn't find the owner of this. Is it Derek Mason? Could you maybe bring this to Derek and find out if this is his? And I said, sure, I'll bring it out. And I'm thinking to myself, now, Derek's told the story. Chris Sanders just buried D-Mace on the air, exposed him as a beginner at golf. He said they went out and played golf for the first time, and Derek wore his wide receiver gloves, both of them, on the course. So I'm thinking of that story. I'm like, is Derek the kind of guy that's going to have a personalized cover for his driver? And I'm thinking, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But, it's DM. How many DMs are there?
Darren McFarland.
It's got a fancy logo.
Yeah, it's fancy.
It's got
it looks like a family crest or something going back it's generations or something.
The Mason crest.
Yeah. So Philly walks right up to me and is like, what do you think? Do you think this is D. Mace's? I was like, heck yes, that's his. 100%. You walk up and you're like, heck no, that's not mine.
I don't play enough golf to have a signature golf cover.
Yeah, but I told Willie, and because Willie he's like, yeah, but he doesn't play. I was like, but that doesn't stop D-Mace from trying to look the part.
Only way I would have something like that if someone gave it to me or bought it for me as a gift. That's the only reason.
That was what I was worried
about. I am not going out of my way to buy that or to special order that. For what? For a guy that plays golf maybe twice a year?
I mean, we're in the yeah. Sean Fort from our staff came up and he's like, did you hit today before the show? And I'm like,
hit before the show. Now, another thing, like,
hit
would
what?
that really
Coffee? Yeah. Hit what? The refrigerator? Hit a muffin? What?
Yeah.
Hit a golf ball before the show. That's a good one. No.
We don't do that.
That's a no. I was like, when I'll be hitting the golf ball? At 1.
Listen.
When we start.
A cheater don't get up and stretch, he just runs.
Exactly. Thank you.
That's what we do. We just play.
I don't run anymore, though.
Yeah, you're right.
I usually figure I've got maybe 6 to 8, maybe on a good day 10 to 12 shots.
Yeah.
Why waste them on the driving range?
No.
Yeah, you're right.
At some point they're going to come out, hopefully.
You save that. You preserve that.
Yeah. So now the question is, who is the DM?
Darren McFarland.
It's not mine. No.
Who is the DM? I'm
in the same boat as you. There's no way I'm buying personalized head covers. Like, it's got to be given to me, man. I just don't.
It's kind of worn out, too.
It looks like it's been through the, it's a well, but it.
I'll take it home.
Baseball players use that on the base pass now on the
they do.
To keep from their fingers getting caught on the bases and stuff. That's what they put on when they slide.
Snap. So I can use this as a, what would you call it, an arm base running cover?
Yeah. They call it an oven mitt in baseball. It's the lingo. You keep it in your back pocket. You slide it on when you make it
to
first.
Is it hot?
Probably so.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's better than breaking your finger on second base.
I would wear these. Especially like at the end of the year when baseball's going, I would wear these just because.
It's multi-purpose.
Yeah.
It's a golf head cover, but it's also can be used for other things.
Yeah.
So if you're the DM that was at the Stars golf tournament,
please.
That was back in what? Early April, late March?
About 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. It was in April. Out here at Hermitage. We have it.
Yeah. It's yours because it says DM. It has a crest on it. So
it's blue and white.
Donovan Mitchell.
Don Mattingly.
Don
Mattingly.
That's a good one. Was
could
Don
be
out
Don.
here? Yeah.
Who else?
The other
The
Derek
other
Mason.
Derek Mason.
Yeah, the other Derek Mason.
Coach Derek Mason.
He could have been here.
Yep.
Donald Mitchell.
Donovan
Donald
McNabb.
Donald Mitchell.
Yeah, he
from the
could've been in-
Titans.
yeah, he
pretty
could've
good
been in
DB.
Nashville.
He was a good
Yep.
DB.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who else? I mean,
Donovan
Dikembe
McNabb.
Mutombo. He could have been out here.
Oh,
Absolutely.
now that would be
Wow.
a sight to see.
I kind of feel like we would remember that. I mean, I'm just saying.
Somebody would have said something.
Don
Somebody
Mattingly.
would have said something. Yeah.
Don Mattingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So we have discovered that is not either one of ours. It's
Spartans.
is this like real leather or
Go
pleather?
green. I don't know what that is.
It's made in good old USA.
Made in the USA. Well, it's faux leather.
You think it's faux?
Yeah. Faux.
Well, there you
fox,
go.
Faux, however they pronounce it. I think it's faux leather.
We'll have Teron Davenport at 11 o'clock. So rookie mini camps
Yes.
taking place. Traylon Burks was there, was not there, and then was there, not there.
Hey, see what this is what these rookies, man. They don't know what they're getting into
Until they get into it.
they get into it. You don't know what you don't know. And I know a lot of people probably looked at it and said, "Oh, he wasn't working out and this and that." No, he was working out, but you can't, no matter what you're doing, because what people don't realize is that these rookies, from the time they get out of college till they get drafted, they are working on drills, specific drills, the 40-yard dash, the shuttle. They are broad jump. They are working on things that they're going to get tested in. They're not necessarily working out to perform, 2 hours a day on a practice field, getting pushed, pulled, long passes. They're not doing that. So when these guys come in, it's not that they're out of shape. Their bodies just are not ready, especially this weekend. It was hot. Last week it was hot. And these young men come in and they're not used to that heat, man, and it takes them out very quickly. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're always out of shape. It's just they're just not ready for the heat just yet. You
Yeah,
know?
we got a lot of things to get in with TD at 11 o'clock because, it seemed pretty clear that Mike Vrabel was trying to calm down all the Ryan Tannehill stuff, right? Which, you expect him to do that. The other part is not really coming forward. Why isn't he? And this is the part that, it's going to be a real eye-opener. And look, we can. I brought this up because I want us to talk about it on the other side because I know it's not. It's fair, unfair. That doesn't matter. Like at what you think it is. He's already been labeled, and you can't get out from underneath it, right? He is A.J. Brown's replacement. Is that fair to him? Well, again, it doesn't matter whether it's fair or unfair. Did he ask the team to trade for him? No, he did not. Did he ask the team to trade A.J. Brown? No. Did he ask the team to trade up to get him? No. But that happened, okay? And so now, whether you think it's fair or unfair, now there's going to be so much expectations on him that, is just going to be real no matter what. And no matter if the Titans try to squash it or change the narrative, you're not going to be able to change it with the fans. It's just this is what people are going to expect. So let's talk about that. And how does he manage that through the course of the season? Because, as you know, being a rookie is hard enough in the NFL. I mean, this is going to be a real eye-opener. Yes, he played in the SEC, and that's a good breeding ground to get you prepared for the next level, but it's not the next level. So how is he going to handle all the stuff? And, oh, by the way, again, he gets lumped into every time he's not there, people are like, oh, great, what is this? Is this A.J. Brown? Does this guy have trouble staying on the field? Again, not his problem, but that's what he's going to get. He's going to go right down the same path as A.J. Brown. Every time A.J. Brown, oh, great, his replacement, he's going to be missing two all the time. So how does Burks handle all that? We'll discuss it on the other side as you listen to the DDC, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
A show that doesn't pull any punches.
And they win a playoff game and they get to the divisional round and he doesn't give up a sack the rest of the year. I don't give two poops. I'm done.
And has an opinion on everything.
That ref crew that was just terrible. Threw flags on almost every possession.
Jared Stillman hosts Stillman and Company.
Tough guy. He's a really tough guy.
Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6. Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Gary Ashton here. I love hearing people say, don't sell without the intel, because it means they're really embracing our message. Now's a great time to sell your home in Nashville, but you need the intel only the Gary Ashton team can provide. Intel that helps you sell your home without any staging or showings. Intel to find your next home so you can sell your current one while the market's hot. Intel to win the buyer battle and cash in on your home equity now. Let everyone else get the same information and compete for the same properties, while you get the intel edge with the Gary Ashton team, the official real estate team for your Tennessee Titans. And if you're looking for a great career, join our team. We added 65 new agents last year, and we want you to join us this year. Remember, don't sell without the intel. And if you're looking for a great career, the Gary Ashton team wants you in 2022. Call 615-301-1650 or visit GaryAshton.com today.
Hey, it's Mark Howard here. You've heard me talk about my friends at Apple Collision Centers for a while now, and today I'm here with CEO Stan Harrison to tell you about how they can help ease your stress with your auto body repair.
That's right, Mark. We have 3 convenient locations, Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. Our people are homegrown right here in Middle Tennessee with over 75 years experience. We can help with all your auto body repair needs.
So stop by and see Stan and his team today and tell them Mark sent you, or visit them online at applecollisioncenters.com.
Nashville Sounds baseball season is underway, and if you haven't been to Third and Home on game day, you're missing out. Third and Home is the newest sports bar in Germantown that overlooks the Nashville Sounds ballpark. From the bar's spacious beer patio, you can literally see the whole Sounds game as if you were sitting in the seats with a ticket. No wonder it's known as Germantown's bar with a ballpark. Head to 3rd Avenue North and check it out for lunch, a night of brews, or to catch a game. Third and Home is open Tuesday through Sunday, and you can even watch batting practice on the patio. For more, visit thirdandhome.com.
For the first time in their history, the Predators have been swept in a playoff series.
The Predators' season has come to an end after being swept by Colorado in the first round.
You work 82 games to be able to get in the playoffs, and unfortunately, this series didn't go the way that we wanted it to go.
What steps do they need to take in the offseason?
Offensively, you got to find a second line. You have a line that you can put together.
We'll continue the coverage on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
On the DDC, ESPN 102.5 The Game. We're here at Hermitage Golf Course. We're excited to be here. What a beautiful day. Beautiful day to play golf, raise money for a great cause. And we're excited to be here. We're looking forward to teeing off a little bit later today. The suit will take over a little bit later as we hit the links. Our show is presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. We could use an AC unit out here today. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York certified comfort expert company. Schedule now at springhillac.com. On our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, Nate asked the question, how big of a deal is the change of physical location allergy-wise? We know it's different in Tennessee. It's huge. I mean, it is huge. I grew up in Lexington, Kentucky. I lived in Cleveland, Ohio before coming here. And when I first moved here, I've been here almost 25 years. And when I first moved here, within the first 4-month window, I was going to the I eventually went to the doctor because I thought I was dying. And I didn't know what was going on. I was like, am I dying? Do I need to get I should probably get a life insurance policy, right? Like I'm about to die. And they're like, no, you've got allergies. And I was like, what? I never dealt with it in my life till I moved here. And it was brutal. I mean, And so then you learn about all this stuff, and now that you've gone through it. But it is a big change.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it affects everybody, even people who have been here. Like, forget coming here for the first time and living, but even people every year, it affects us. I mean, it was how Gil was dealing with it. You could tell on the broadcast. You were dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
I've dealt with it. Willie's dealt with it. We've all dealt with it. And it's just in this area, this dust bowl that we live in called Nashville, it's something. I mean, where I was yesterday, which was in Mount Juliet, at Mount Juliet League Park, there was those, what are those white things?
I
just
don't know.
floated around everywhere all day. I don't know, from the I don't know what those are called.
The little flower
that little
things,
flower, yes,
yeah.
and they were blowing around everywhere, which, probably isn't good for your allergies.
Oh, no.
Would be my guess. So, to answer your question, it's a big deal. And it's something, but, they got
doctors.
They got people there
they
on
got
staff
the best,
that can help. Yes.
the best doctors you can buy.
They've got a better situation than us when we have to deal with it.
Oh, yeah. So they don't, they deal with allergies, they get it straightened out very quickly.
So how do you think Burks is going to handle? Because that's the other part of this. Like, there's no manual. They don't give you – they give you playbooks, but they don't think they give you a manual on how to handle being a professional athlete now and what comes with it. Life in the NFL, you are under a microscope, especially if you're a first-round pick, especially if you're walking into a situation like he's walking into where he's replacing the number one receiver. And I know they got Robert Woods, and if Robert Woods is healthy, I suspect they want Robert Woods to be their number one and Treylon Burks to be their number two as a rookie. But he may not have that luxury. There's going to be expectations, and I don't think he's going to get around it.
Well, he's not. But he's going to have to lean heavy on Rob Moore, the wide receivers coach. Rob's been through this. He understands it. He's probably coached other rookies. I'm sure he's coached other first-round rookies that have come in with the expectations and seeming like the weight is on their shoulders to come out and prove that they were worthy of that number one pick. So then he's going to have to lean on, other veterans in that wide receiver room. So I think he'll be okay. I trust that Mike Vrabel won't put any more pressure on him that needs to be put on him. Nothing needs to be said. He was the Tennessee Titans' first pick. That comes along with pressure in itself. And then you get drafted and you think you're going to have an opportunity, to play behind or with A.J. Brown, and then they trade away A.J. Brown, so that's another added, dimension to it. But they can't and they should not try to make it seem like Treylon Burks is A.J. Brown's replacement. Yes, he got drafted. Yeah, yes, he got drafted number one. In the first round, it was just happenstance that he got drafted and they traded away A.J. Brown. He wasn't brought in. He wasn't drafted, I don't think, initially, because I think they would have drafted a receiver anyway. I don't think he was drafted necessarily to be a replacement for A.J. Brown. It was to be a complement to A.J. Brown.
But you would admit that's going to be a hard label to shake. I tried to make that argument about Corey Davis as the fifth pick when it was obvious early on that he was not going to be a superstar, but he could never shake that label. Right? Everybody was still going to be, hey, he's the fifth pick. Why isn't he doing better? So I think that's going to be something that they're going to have to handle very carefully with Treylon Burks. I have to believe there had to be a little bit of eyebrow raising, like, whoa, that happened on the first day? But I guess you'd rather have that happen now because now hopefully it's a wake-up call for him, and they've got to go back and say, all right, here's how it is. You got to make an adjustment. Because there's no way around it. They need production from him, whether he's all pro or whatever. They've got to have something from him if they're going to be any good, right?
Yeah, they're going to have to get. They're going to have to get more than maybe what they thought they were going to get. Because when a rookie comes in, there's a level of expectation unless you like the number one pick at a position that you need dire, they expect you to come in and be that person. In a Titans situation, because they are a run-first team, and I think they're going to utilize the tight end heavily this year, I don't think their thought was we're going to draft him. He has to immediately come in and be the number one guy. I think what they're going to do is they're going to ease him in, and that's the best way to do it. Figure out what he knows, put him at one position, whether it's the X or the Z, put him at that one position, and allow him to learn that one position first, and then sort of sprinkle things here and there, whether it's playing the slot or playing the X receiver. You can't just say, hey, listen, I'm going to throw all this at you. You learn all three positions and roll with it. Some guys falter under situations like that. So he needs to learn one position first and sort of sprinkle in everything else. But listen, Mike's been at this, years. He spent probably half his life playing football, so he understands what this young man needs in order to not go in with sort of this weight on the shoulder type of feeling.
You guys agree, right? Woods, they want to be the number one?
Yeah,
no?
Sure they do, but
how do
they know?
If I think they would love for Traylon to be the number one.
Really?
I think
as a rookie?
In a perfect world.
In a perfect world, they would want him to be the number one.
But there is your hope, and then you have to be thinking, okay, let's be realistic. What if you have to be prepared for a lot of different things to happen? Mm-hmm. What if Woods isn't ready physically at the beginning of the year? That's a very realistic possibility. Mm-hmm. We don't know. What if Burks isn't ready to shoulder everything you got to shoulder to be a number one?
Well, he's going to have to grow up fast.
Yeah. There's a lot that has to fall into place. That's a major concern for me.
They didn't draft him once everything was settled, and they had already traded away AJ. They didn't draft Traylon Burks to remain the number two. They drafted Traylon Burks to be their number one guy. Only he can speed that process up. Meaning, if he gets in there and he learns the playbook and he makes plays, he's going to be their number one. If he shows that he can make plays, he's going to be their number one. I don't think they truly know what they're going to get out of Robert Woods because of the knee injury. So you don't know if you're going to get the Robert Woods of old or get the Robert Woods that is sort of working its way back into or working its way back through the injury. So, but listen.
But there's not
Nick
much
Westbrook-Akina might end up being the number one or two for a time being.
Ugh.
That's another guy that needs to grow up.
Look, I'm a big fan of his. I'm a big fan of his, but he's not a number one. He's not a number one.
You say that, but I truly believe. I'm not saying this guy is just a bona fide number one. It's just gonna tear it up. I do believe this is his third season now. They're making a decision with him also. Either this guy can elevate himself into a 2, or, because he's already a 3.
Yeah, I would be thrilled if he got to be a 2. They want to see if he's a real 2.
He can really put in the work to be a number 2. Because, again, you don't know what you're getting in Robert Woods. You just don't because of the injury. And it's only a 1-year deal. So Westbrook-Akina has to step up this year.
He does.
He has to.
In some form or fashion.
Exactly.
They need a really good year from him.
He has to prove that he can be a number 2. He has to prove that.
And I would go a step further. I think they need somebody like Racey McMath or Dez Fitzpatrick to make a big jump and be a contributor somewhere in there. Or they're just going to have to go find a veteran off the street and get
they'll be able to do that once cuts start to be made.
Maybe.
They'll find a veteran guy, but, there's nothing like the guys that are already on your roster that knows the offense. And if they can prove that they've taken another step, like, again, Nick Westbrook-Akina, this is your 3rd year. This is the either you prove it year or you're going to be somewhere else. That's just the nature of the game.
But that had to be a little bit of a reality check for everybody on Friday where it's like you have this vision in your mind, man, Traylon Burke, he's going to come in here, he's going to be the man. And then, wait a minute, maybe we need to just pump the brakes a little bit and give this guy a little time and just understand that week one, he may not be ready to jump in there and be Mr. Everything. And what does that mean for the team?
I would be more surprised if he was than wasn't.
Yeah.
Because it's
that's
just not
realistic.
it's just not common. I mean, some pull it off, but it's usually the ones that are really special. And we don't know. And maybe he is. I don't know. I mean, Derek, you liked him enough to predict that's who the Titans are going to take. So clearly you think highly of him.
Yeah, I do. But I just think the way they bring him on will dictate how successful and how much of an impact he will have this year, especially early on. If they try to throw everything at him, then there might be a problem. But if he shows that he can pick it up and again, that he can make plays in practice and in preseason, then, away we go.
Ben on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHunter.com, says it is possible for NWI that he could be the leading receiver in yards this year, and they still make the playoffs, but I wouldn't bet on it. I just don't see. I think he is a good complementary receiver and a guy that's worthy of being on your roster, a guy that's worthy of getting production out of. But if he's your leading receiver, I don't know. It just –
unless he's like 1,200 yards. I mean,
well, I don't know if the leading receiver on this team is going to have to.
Yeah,
I mean,
you got a point there.
Who's the last? I mean, that's just not very common with Titans offenses over the years to have 1,200 and 1,300 yard receivers, or a receiver.
They haven't had. I think they've had one eclipse 1,100 yards. I think no, they haven't. Because I thought it would have. No, Nate Washington didn't even get 1,100 yards, I don't think. So they've had a few to get to 1,000.
We'll have the answer on the other side. I will look this up.
Okay.
All right, let's do
Titans
that first. You're going to tell everybody about QC Kinetics.
Yes, first things first. Now, we're out here on the golf course today. We're going to be playing. And I know there's probably some of you out there that love to play golf, or maybe it's another sport that you love to stay active with, but you've had some joint pain that's cramped your style a little bit. It's hindering your ability to do what you love to do. Well, that's where QC Kinetics wants you to explore what they have to offer. That pain in your back or your knees or your shoulder, it can now be treated with the latest in precision medicine. It's a different form of treatment than maybe you're used to. It's natural biologics, growth factors that can restore and repair damaged tissue. And QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, giving you access right here to this modern-day joint pain solution. Here is the best part. No drugs, no steroids, no downtime, no surgery. You may have heard Emmett Smith talking about QC Kinetics. So check it out for yourself. Take action. Get a free consultation by calling this number at QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. Effective joint pain treatments with natural biologics, 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
Let's put the green flag in the air and turn them loose.
Nashville's home for NASCAR.
He's going to try to make a big move here.
Is brought to you by the Nashville Super Speedway. We are your racing station.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Ray Jeter here with Harness LLC. Are you a grading and utility foreman who never gets recognized for a job well done at your current company? Have you been dogged for the last time? Go to selectharness.com. We're looking for 5 foremen. Our benefits and sign-on bonuses are the best in the industry. You owe it to yourself to check out selectharness.com. We care about our people at Harness, your family, and we act like it. Harness LLC. Build people, move dirt.
If you're shopping for a new home, the last thing you want is another surprise jump in mortgage rates. Hey, Willie Donick here, excited to tell you about Loan Pronto's all-new rate protection program. You get a rate quote that is locked in for 180 days, 6 whole months. Brian and Amy did it. They locked in an APR in the 3s with Loan Pronto. When they finally found a home a month later, rates had jumped into the 4s, but they were protected thanks to Loan Pronto, and they saved over $200 a month on their payment. With Loan Pronto's rate protection guarantee, you can make offers with confidence. And there's no fee for this, no upfront cost. And most home buyers who go with Loan Pronto save about $3,000 in closing costs. Call now for the all-new rate protection program so you can check rate increases off the list of things to worry about. 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780. 499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval.
If the Oral-B IO electric toothbrush had a theme song, this would be it.
I think you're gonna wanna see this.
Only IO combines Oral-B's dentist-inspired round brush head with gentle micro vibrations for a brushing experience even dentists have hailed as literally the best brush I've ever used. Get the wow of a professional clean feel every day with the IO from Oral-B, the #1 brand used by dentists.
You're gonna see what everybody's talking about.
Oral-B, brush like a pro.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, I'm Gary Smith, head coach of Nashville SC. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Back here on the DDC. Beautiful day here on this Monday. Hope everybody's having a great start to your week. Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, Derek Mason with you live here at Hermitage Golf Course. Beautiful day, beautiful course. Raising money for a great cause. Willie, you looked up during the break.
Yep, I have some research for you.
It's not eye-popping.
Well, but it's not, I think people know this, but I think when you hear the numbers, you're like, holy cow. All right, who was the last Titans receiver? We were just talking about the undefined roles, the uncertainty at the Titans wide receiver position this year, and they're completely starting over pretty much. Don't really know who's going to be in what role. A.J. Brown led the team last year in receiving yards. Of course, circumstances, right? He missed some time. He ended up with 869 yards and led the team. Derek asked the question, who was the last guy to get 1,100 yards in a season receiving? Who was the last Titan to do it?
I can answer that. I can answer that question. It's me. Receiver?
You say you. Do you agree, Darren?
I say me.
You say you.
I was thinking Nate, but I know Nate had 1,000. I know. What was the other wide receiver out of Baylor? Kendall Wright. He had 1,000.
Yeah, but he didn't get to 1,100, I don't think. I think it was just past 1,000.
AJ had 1,000.
Did Brett?
Kenny Brett.
These are all good guesses.
No, Kenny never. Did he have over 1,000?
These are all good guesses. That's why I'm throwing this out there. I have done the research. I would have had the same line of thinking you guys did without looking it up.
The last receiver
to have 1,100.
Was it a receiver?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
But it's a good line of thought because there is another to consider.
There's somebody else?
So do you have an answer? Derek's answer is Derek Mason.
I will say.
Has anybody cracked 1,100 since Derek Mason?
Oh, since me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought
that's
you said
what I'm asking.
a Titan receiver. Oh, since me. No.
There's been no. That's my question.
No, because
unless it was Delaney Walker, that was it. And
okay, that's a good guess.
He said it was a
receiver,
receiver, though.
It's a good guess.
He already said it was a receiver.
But it is not Delaney Walker. Delaney Walker had, in his best year, 1,088 yards in 2015.
I'm going to go
for a
with
3-13.
Justin Gage.
I'm going to go with no.
Justin Gage did lead the Titans in receiving yards 2 straight years.
Yeah, what was it, about 700 yards?
You're in the ballpark.
Yeah, it wasn't 1,100. I'm going to say no. I feel like we would remember that.
The answer is Drew Bennett in 2004. 1,247 yards.
Before you.
But he and I were in the same year. That was my last year.
Right.
So
okay.
anybody after that,
technically you're right.
I knew Drew had.
That's what I was saying. I knew that
Drew
too,
had
but I
that,
was
yeah.
putting
But I
that in
wasn't counting
category
Drew.
as that's not after you.
Yeah, that's not after me. That was with me.
That was with you. Derek had 1303 in 2003, which was a strong Titans team, of course, as a lot of you remember. In 2004, Drew had 1,247. You were right behind him. I don't have yours.
I think I had like 11 something.
Okay. Now, since then, from 2005 through 2021, how many years has the Titans' leading receiver had less than 1,000 yards?
A lot.
A lot. I don't know.
Okay.
What's that?
Okay, let's count up the seasons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's
7.
17 years. Is it 17 years?
17 years. How many years has the Titans' leading receiver in the last 17 years had less than 1,000 yards?
A lot.
Out of the 17, I'll say 14.
It's probably embarrassing.
Say 14, less than 1,000 yards. 14 out of the 17 years.
I will go 12 of 17.
I say 14. Well, AJ had 2.
AJ had 2.
Nate had 1. Kendall had 1.
That's correct. Delaney Walker
had 1. So that's 5. So, yeah, it had to be 12 years.
You guys are right. 12 out of 17 years. 12 times in the modern NFL, which is what we're talking about here, the leading receiver has had less than 1,000 yards.
That is awful. That is god awful. That's awful. That is awful.
Well, it just shows you how much they run the ball, the philosophy, and they just have not been able to compile a good stable of wide receivers. So you had A.J. Brown twice have 1,000. You guys hit on the ones that did get over 1,000. Nate Washington had the 1 year. Kenny Britt was mentioned. He did lead them in receiving twice. Remember,
but he
1
never
year,
had over 1,000 yards.
775 and 701. And, of course, in there somewhere, he tore up his knee. I think he would have had it 1 year.
But he messed up his knee.
Justin Gage in the real run-oriented teams of 07 and 08. We're talking about really defense and run the ball. That was Thunder and Lightning. That was Lindell White, Vince Young. They didn't have much of a passing attack, but they went 23-9 in those 2 years. But Justin Gage, he led them with 750, and he led them with 651.
Yep.
When they were 13-3, he led them in receiving yards with 651 yards. That is crazy. Kendall Wright had 10. He had 1,079 in the 1 year. They were 7-9. They weren't a great team.
And he had like 90 catches.
He had a lot of catches, a lot of short catches. There was a lot of wide receiver screens. It was not the most efficient, but he did get over 1,000. Delaney Walker had the 1 year. He led them in receiving yards 3 different times, but only once was it over 1,000. And then the other random one, Rashard Matthews, 945.
Yes.
In 2016. Had a pretty decent year.
He did.
That was another heavy running team. That was the year Murray, who am I thinking?
DeMarco Murray.
DeMarco Murray. Lamont Murray's a basketball player. What am I thinking? DeMarco Murray. And that was, I think, Derrick Henry's rookie year. That was the year that Malarkey got him to the playoffs.
First or second year.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, so what you're saying is basically –
this is not wide receiver U.
Yeah, wide receiver is not a prime position for the Tennessee Titans.
But
that illustrates
today's game, though.
It needs to be.
That illuminates the dilemma of A.J. Brown and how hard it was to walk away, looking at the price tag, but understanding the history and trying to weigh that. It's a tough decision. We'll see what happens.
But I told you, the way the Titans value that position as opposed to some other teams valuing that position is totally different. If the Titans had Mahomes or Burrow, or
a prolific passer,
a elite
Aaron
quarterback,
Rodgers,
then they would view that position different. Every elite quarterback has what? An elite wide receiver. Then you can name the elite quarterbacks, with the exception of Aaron Rodgers now because they shipped his away. But every elite quarterback has an elite wide receiver.
Yeah.
Well,
now,
if they don't consider him elite, then they figure, why do we need to put that much money into an elite wide receiver?
And it's not like you can't win with a great individual receiver. The Titans' best years have been years where, Kevin Dyson in 1999 led the team. They went to the Super Bowl. 600 and
as a rookie.
It's crazy.
Second year. No, that was his second year.
658. Jeez. You guys went, came so close to winning the whole thing.
That's different era.
But that was a different era. You cannot in this era, because I was on yesterday in the Baltimore market, and they were talking about Lamar Jackson and him not having Hollywood Brown no more, and can they, how far can they go without a guy? I said, listen, they can win in the regular season without having a top-notch receiver or one guy you can throw it to, which is Andrews. I said, but once they get in the playoffs, they need someone else. That's just the way it is. Every team that is one-dimensional, it's hard for them to win in the playoffs. It just is. If you look at what Baltimore did, they were throwing it to Andrews. They got put out. The teams, when they don't have something else to go to, they got put out of playoffs. They got put out when they just had a run-dominated team, and they couldn't really throw the football. What did they do? Everybody piled up on Derrick Henry and forced you to throw the ball, and they couldn't do it. And then when they have the horses to do it on the outside, they don't have the quarterback that can do it. In today's game, you have to have a guy that is able to change the complexity of the game via the pass, and it has to be more than a tight end, unless the tight end is the best in the league. But even with that, you need someone else to complement that tight end.
We'll talk with Teron Davenport at 11 o'clock to begin the second hour. I'm going to come back and ask you guys, with that being said, with today's game in football and in hockey, the Titans and the Predators have had certain styles basically since they've been here in Nashville. Is it time to change those styles? We'll talk about that to wrap up the first hour next.
This is Phil Tomasino, and this is Smashville.
Cousins put it in front of the score. Tomasino lofts it in. 2-0 Nashville.
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators Radio Network, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Man, the NBA playoffs are getting good, aren't they, folks? And you can make every game feel like Game 7 on FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. Joe Rexrode here to let you know that throughout these playoffs, all customers can place a no-sweat same-game parlay each week. You get up to $20 in free bets if you don't win. FanDuel has so many ways to play, and best of all, when you do win, you get paid faster than a fast break. Easy to use, safe and secure. These playoffs, I got to tell you, man, I am excited about the conference finals. I think Warriors-Mavs is going to be great. I think Luka should be a part of any same-game parlay because I don't know who the Warriors have to match up with them. On the other side, Jimmy Butler, man, watch out for him. I mean, Butler and Tatum, boy, those guys could have some huge games. If you're new to FanDuel, download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, sign up promo code Joe102, get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Again, promo code Joe102, and if you already have an account, you're all set to bet, no sweat. Either way, you get up to $20 in free bets if your same-game parlay during the playoffs doesn't win. FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued is now available for free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $20 per week. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
From elegant to contemporary, Social Furniture has it all. And right now, get no interest financing on any purchase through Memorial Day. Save hundreds, even thousands on top brand name bedroom suites, living room and dining sets. Thousands of combinations in stock, ready for immediate delivery. All colors and styles are designer brand names, such as Woodhouse, Sealy, Serta, Kincaid, Bernhardt, Stearns & Foster, and Bassett. Shop local, shop social. Social Furniture opens 7 days a week on the west side on Charlotte Avenue in the Richland Creek Shopping Center.
Don't go through another summer with that awful joint pain. Call QC Kinetics now. Willie Donick here. That pain in your back, your knees, your shoulder, it can now be treated with the latest in precision medicine using natural biologic growth factors that can restore and repair damaged tissue. Really exciting stuff. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, giving you access right here to this modern-day joint pain solution. You can get lasting joint pain relief with no drugs, no steroids, no downtime, and no surgery. You may have heard Emmitt Smith raving about QC Kinetics. You've read or seen other high-profile people talking about it. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics can help you get your life back. So take action now. Get a free consultation. Powerful, effective joint pain treatments with natural biologics are here. So call QC Kinetics now. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
Attention, buckaroos. It's time for the Franklin Rodeo, so saddle up and hold on to your lasso. It's 3 days of bull riding, calf roping, western wear, funny clowns, and some of the most talented horses you've ever seen. Join the Stampede this weekend. The Franklin Rodeo is held at the Williamson County Ag Expo Park and is brought to you by Franklin Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, Williamson Medical Center, Wesley Mortgage, and Event 1FX. Tickets on sale now at franklinrodeo.com. It's a buckin' good time.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway. Now here's Jim Mitchell.
Our fleet vehicle program is a great benefit to all the fleet companies in Nashville. We are able to get their vehicle back on the road a lot quicker than the downtime of most dealers and most general repair shops, simply because we have the transmissions available. We're able to put priority on their vehicles to get them back on the road quickly.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway.
A show that doesn't pull any punches.
And they win a playoff game and they get to the divisional round and he doesn't give up a sack the rest of the year. I don't give two poops. I'm done.
And has an opinion on everything.
That ref crew that was just terrible. Threw flags on almost every possession.
Jared Stillman hosts Stillman and Company.
Tough guy. He's a really tough guy.
Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6. Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
You can watch us streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook every day. Our video streaming is brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. This is what I know coming up in about an hour, a little bit less than. George Thorogood tickets and the Destroyers at the Ryman. It's coming up, so you'll need to get involved. Just tell us what you know coming up here shortly. So it's kind of alarming when you hear that. And a lot of people are reacting on our text line like, 12 out of 17 years? Yikes. Now, you know, some people have said, well, why didn't we just, let's see, Jonathan in East Nashville, why didn't we just give A.J. what he wanted then? If 12 out of 17 years have looked like that. Well, I also don't think throwing $25 million a year and $100 million is the answer to a guy that hasn't done it yet. And, again, that's what my whole problem with A.J. Brown. Like, I don't have a problem with him wanting to get paid, but it's, you know, like, at least do it first. I mean, when you're top season 700 yards and you're screaming to be paid like a top receiver in the league, sorry. I mean, that's not how it works. Like, how about you go do it first? So I don't think that's the answer. So that's alarming to hear that out loud. And I'm not surprised at all by it. I mean, we've been covering the team since day one. Right. So not surprised. So the Predators have had basically this formula of being really good at drafting guys on the back end, right? They have had the luxury of top-notch defensemen and top-notch goalies most of their existence since they've been in Nashville. Mm-hmm. They've had troubles up front, okay, with the forwards. The Titans, since they've been here, as we've just laid out, it's been a formula of defense and running the football. And we always hear defense wins championships. It doesn't just mean in football. Could mean in hockey, but here's the difference. The games have changed. We've talked about it all season. Hockey has been nothing but what? Scoring. It's all been about goals. That's this whole season. The way this season played out, scoring is way up. Football, scoring is up because of the rules. So scoring is up. Offenses, defenses, it's challenging to really slow teams down. So with that being said, if it's all about offense, and they say, we used to always dig the long ball. Well, I think it's fair to say right now in hockey and football, they're saying fans dig offense. Fans dig scoring. So at what point do you think, with that being said, is it maybe time for a philosophy change? If it's all about scoring and it's all about offense, and we're sitting here talking about two franchises that have been more about, in football, running and defense, and the hockey team more about defense, things on the back end, is it time for a philosophy change?
It's a great question. What is the philosophy, though? I think, for example, we were just talking about this. How about the irony of the team that did dive in and jump in and say, we want A.J. Brown, we'll pay him the money? It's the Eagles. Why? I guess they're desperate for that number one wide receiver. But the Eagles, we just went over their Super Bowl winning team of 2017.
It's 5 years ago.
They won the Super Bowl 5 years ago. That would be the modern football era, right? They beat Tom Brady. They did not have a single 1,000-yard receiver, nor did they have a 1,000-yard running back.
That might have been the first time in history. At least in the last 15 years.
Should have been more made. I feel like there should have been more made of that. That's a pretty amazing stat.
Yeah.
Their
But
leading
it's
rusher.
that team.
So for people out
so
there,
that's the team that said, I got to have A.J. Brown. I'm giving you a first and a third for A.J. because we desperately need the number one wide receiver. But they have just won the Super Bowl in the last 5 years with the following skilled players.
Listen to this.
All right,
This
these
is
are their top.
mind-blowing.
Because I'm guaranteeing you, unless you're from Philly and you watch them, and Teron would know the answer because he covered this team. But if you're out there, I'll bet you that right off the top of your head, you're going to have trouble recalling any of these guys from that team. And it wasn't that long ago. I'm like this. I pride myself on questions like this. I had forgotten.
I got so desperate with this question. I was like, Ricky Waters? Brian Westbrook?
Harold Carmichael?
Brian Mitchell? Like, what? Like, I'm desperate. Like, who? What is the answer to this?
All right, so Derek immediately came up with Zach Ertz, and that's a good one. He had 824 yards. That led them in receiving.
They're tight end.
Yes.
Their leading running back was LeGarrette Blount, the well-traveled, played on a gazillion teams and started with the Titans. He had 766 yards. That led them in rushing.
Leading rusher.
2 touchdowns. Nelson Aguilar. What is he best known for? The guy who drops passes. He's the butt of jokes. Remember the guy in the fireman?
He, too, is
that
also.
caught the baby, and he said, I didn't want to pull a Nelson Aguilar and drop the baby?
Well, he, too, has been well-traveled.
Yes.
In his career.
Alshon Jeffrey, nice receiver, 789 yards.
His better days were in Chicago.
Underachiever, I think.
His better days were in Chicago.
Torrey Smith.
A lot of hype. Overhyped.
Torrey Smith, just, solid, decent guy.
He's a journeyman again.
Trey Burton. And now that's pretty much it. They won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And not to mention their backup quarterback had to come in, Nick Foles, and get hot. But you can win by committee. It's rare. But I just think that's a fascinating case study there.
Yeah, it's a far and few between.
Yeah.
When you're winning in that fashion, that means your defense has to be opportunistic. They got to get a lot of turnovers. They got to score with those turnovers. And you must have a short field. You have to if you're going to win in that fashion. Because, I can tell you within the last 15, 20 years, there's not many teams that won the Super Bowl with those type of numbers from skilled guys that Philadelphia put up.
Although I will say, but see, here is the other part that you're not even, and they did it without the elite quarterback.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's when you go back and you think about that Eagles. How did
13
you do
and
that?
3. It's not like they were 9-7 and got hot.
You
They
did
went
it with
13
a
and 3.
journeyman quarterback, journeyman running backs, journeyman receivers. Zach Ertz has
very good
been
defense.
a very solid.
You have some
tight
journey
end.
shoes.
How did you do that? You could say a lot of those New England championships, if we went back and looked at, they didn't have a top flight receiver. They were just kind of committee thing.
Yeah.
Running back, same thing. Carousel, committee. But they had Tom Brady.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
And Bill Belichick.
And Bill Belichick. So they had Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, and so you're able to overcome. Philadelphia has their coach has been fired since then. He's now in the division of the Titans. So he's been fired since that Super Bowl. They had journeyman running backs, journeyman receivers, a journeyman quarterback who's been mostly a backup, and they won a Super Bowl. I don't even know how that happened.
And so that's what makes you question any philosophy. Getting back to your question, like, what is the philosophy? There are different ways to win. Chasing the franchise quarterback, that's hard to do. It's hard to find that guy. So if you don't have him, which is what usually 20 to 25 teams on a given year are in that situation, how do you best win? You know, the Titans have they've got different general managers, different coaches. So it is a little bit of happenstance that it's the running and the defense that ends up being the prevailing philosophy.
You know who covered that team? Our next guest.
Yep.
We can ask him
about that team.
I wonder if I'm sure he does. He covered them.
Oh, he can nail it, I think.
Gosh, that's, hopefully he wasn't listening so we could literally surprise him with that question. We'll start the second hour with TD. We do that next.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Winning this award is truly like winning the Super Bowl of car dealer awards for Mercedes-Benz.
Edwin Vickery, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz of Music City.
Culture eats strategy for lunch. You have to hit on all cylinders to win this award. You can strategize all you want. You got to still have the right tools, and our tools are our people.
Live the dream with 3-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best Award winner, Mercedes-Benz of Music City. Go to mbofmc.com.
Realizing Geico is your one-stop shop for all your insurance needs is like realizing you can just toss the whole measuring cup into the washer so it won't get gunked up with laundry detergent.
I guess it doesn't work for coffee mugs, huh?
It's something that's been right in front of you this whole time, like how Geico offers 24/7 emergency roadside service to help you when you need it most. Or how athletic wristbands aren't for your wrists, they're for wiping sweat off your forehead.
Great. So, what are headbands for?
80s night at the dance club. Woo!
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance, with even more ways to save when you add boat, motorcycle, and RV insurance. Or how a pony is its own animal and not just a baby horse.
So, what's a baby pony called?
Getting more ways to save. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Spring is in the air, and that means all kinds of fun in the sun is just around the corner. But if you're feeling low energy, if you've put on weight and just aren't getting the gains from your workouts, if you aren't sleeping well and your libido isn't what it used to be, maybe you aren't looking forward so much to sunny days and shirtless weather. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if this sounds like you, we might very well have the answer, because you may very well be suffering from low testosterone. And that, my friend, is something that can be effectively treated to get you back to the guy you used to be. The Tennessee Men's Clinic has treated thousands of men for low T. Our treatment programs are highly effective, with most men seeing results in just a few weeks. Assuming you're like most guys, you'll sleep better, have better workouts, have higher energy, and your sex life might just improve as well. So give us a call. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090. Or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra. Results vary.
When he's good, he's thorough good. Little bad to the bone. When he's bad, he's even better. George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Good to be bad tour. 45 years of rock. May 19th, Ryman Auditorium. Tickets on sale now at Ryman.com. George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Sponsored by PNC Bank and Access. Proud partners of Ryman Auditorium.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Today we are benefiting Folds of Honor all day with the Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament.
Text DONATE to 615-737-1025 to benefit Folds of Honor Tennessee.
ESPN 1025 and 1063 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
informative conversation while you work. This is the DDC. Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
Hour number 2, Darren, Donick, and Chase with D-Mace. We're out here at the Hermitage Golf Course. We're having a great time. We're going to raise some money. Our charity golf tournament for 102.5 The Game and Cromwell Radio is going on today. It is a perfect day. We're going to be hitting the links for better or worse a little bit later. We've lost Darren McFarland. I feel like, Derek, when Darren gets hungry, everything else just gets put to the side. I mean, it's just nothing else can happen.
Nothing else matters.
Yep. He heard that there was food ready, and then boom, he was gone. I have no idea where he is right now. But I think I have a pretty good understanding. Wherever the food's being served, that's where he is. All right, Elijah, back in the studio. Do we have Teron with us?
Indeed, we do.
We do. Teron Davenport is with us. Teron, I'm still a little sore that the Mets lost a series, but it was bound to happen. The first series loss of the year happens in mid-May, so that's not a bad thing. But onward for that. We got a question for you. I don't know if you heard our discussion in the last hour. Did you?
I did not.
You did not. All right, so we're hitting you with this. You covered the Eagles Super Bowl championship team, right?
Right.
Okay, 2017. We were just talking about the Titans and the wide receiver position. Right now, they're sort of redefining roles. They're almost starting over. They've got a lot of new pieces that they're trying to put in place. Historically, it's not a franchise that's had a lot of prolific receivers. You got to go way back to Derek Mason to a time where you could string together a lot of production from one guy. But we looked at the Eagles, who ironically are the team that made the big splash and traded for A.J. Brown, and we were looking at their skill players from their Super Bowl winning team of 2017. And all of us, to a man, had trouble remembering just 5 years ago their individual skill players. So we were curious how many – we feel like you have a much better chance. You're going to do way better than we did. But can you name all of those guys? They did not have a 1,000-yard receiver.
Receiver-wise, they're receivers or just –
receivers and running backs. They did not have – they have the distinction of winning a Super Bowl without a 1,000-yard receiver or a 1,000-yard running back.
Right. Well, you had Alshon Jeffrey and Nelson Aguilar, Torrey Smith as well. So they ran a lot of 11 personnel. Zach Ertz was the tight end. The running backs initially, they had – let's see, Darren Sproles went down that year. They had LeGarrette Blount, and then they traded for Jay Ajayi. That was their running backs. And Corey Clement, he actually had a 100-yard receiving game in the Super Bowl. So that was their skills. But, I mean, to your point, there really wasn't anybody that stood out too much. Alshon Jeffrey was probably the most decorated skill player out of the group because, again, Sproles went down, I think it was like week 6 or something like that. He went down, broken wrist or forearm and a torn ACL.
Yeah, you named them all, and we were just racking our brain, even though it was only 5 years ago. But all that to say, there are different ways to win in the league. They did it by committee. All of those guys made contributions, and they beat Tom Brady and scored 41 points in the Super Bowl with that group. So, Teron, let's bring it back to Nashville. Now you've got sort of this redefined receiver position for the Titans, and you just had this first chapter in Burks's, tenure at the rookie camp where he's got a little trouble staying on the field. And so we're kind of saying, okay, the canvas is kind of clean. Where do they come up with the type of passing attack they're going to need to keep winning?
Yeah, I think it'd just be a balanced attack, and I've actually made a similarity to that Eagles team. Not saying that they'll win the Super Bowl, but just drawing comparisons to how Frank Reich used to always with that group say he likes having a group of guys that's capable of scoring 20 points on any given night, as opposed to having one guy who scores 30 to 40 every night. And then you can focus all the attention on him. And I think that's kind of what you're going to see with the Titans this year. It's going to be Robert Woods leading receiving one game, then Burks, then it could be Chig Okonkwo, then Kyle Phillips, and Mason Kinsey, and Austin Hooper. Long story short, they have a collection of guys that they, in my opinion, feel can, get the job done adequately and not be just that one guy.
Now, TD, is this because we were discussing this also? Because, having Treylon Burks come in and all the pressure of him, potentially being the number one guy and to replace A.J. Brown and to put up the numbers that a number one guy should put up. I just think that's too much pressure on a young guy. Now, will he get there? He might end up getting there, but that's just too much pressure. But I believe that, Mike, they will work themselves around that and he will perform without having that added pressure on him. But with that being said, not knowing what Robert Woods is going to be, this is the year, I believe, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine has to prove that he's more than a number 3. Now, whether he ends up a number 2 or not, but when I say he has to prove that he's more than a number 3, that if Robert Woods isn't fully ready to go, say at the beginning of the season, he's still slowed, he's playing, but he's not the Robert Woods. They're going to need Westbrook-Ikhine to step up and be that veteran, sort of veteran guy that can kind of hold it all together until Robert Woods is fully healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. And he said one of the first things that he thought to himself when he saw the AJ trade, obviously after the initial shock, he was like, well, this is my opportunity. And I think just having that mindset is exactly the way you have to approach that. And you're right, he has to be the guy to, regardless of whether Woods is back right away or not, I think he needs to be someone that could step up and be in that mix. And I would imagine, when they go 11 personnel, he'll be a guy that will come onto the field, and you could shift Woods or Burks into the slot position, and even Westbrook-Ikhine could play the slot position differently from how, what you would get out of Woods or Burks, but it's just, almost like a Marcus Colston type of role, right? Work in the middle of the field and those type of things. So there will be a role for him. I definitely think that, and he does need to take advantage of the opportunity.
Now, I know a lot of people are going to look at it and they're going to say, well, Treylon Burks didn't finish practice, and they're a little bit worried and concerned. And as a former player, I'm not too worried about it because I understand as a rookie what you've been doing, trying to prepare yourself for the draft. You haven't been doing the things necessarily that's going to get you through an NFL season. You are doing things conditioning-wise just to get you to a point to where you run a good 40, you run a good shuttle, you run a broad jump. So explain to our listeners that they shouldn't be too worried that Treylon Burks didn't finish practice.
Well, yeah, and that's the big thing leading up. You hit it right on the head. Leading up to the combine and all that stuff, all of your training is for testing. It's not for actual football movements and going through a full total practice. So, and even to Mike Vrabel's point, you can't simulate what's going to be asked of you to do in a practice anyway. It's just tough to do that, not being, there at the facility and actually practicing. So I think with the Treylon Burks situation, there's nothing really to worry about. Obviously, people were concerned after the first day, but I mean, he was overheating. That's why they had the ice on his neck, the inhaler. I mean, we don't know if it's asthma or even just simple allergies. I mean, people forget, and I know because I remember just, 4 years ago moving here when I first got here, like the allergies, and I still have it. The pollen levels are different. So you mix that with the heat, and it got hot really quickly, you're going to have that type of situation. But then you look, he came right back the next practice full participant. He actually looked a little bit more energetic and everything. He made a couple catches, and there were no issues. So I think that's something that you just got to kind of chalk up to the intro to the Nashville environment and intro to an NFL practice, and I fully believe he'll be fine. I don't think there's any issue.
We'll talk with Teron Davenport. You can follow him on Twitter at TDavenport_NFL, ESPN, NFL Nations reporter covering the Tennessee Titans. Now, which one of these rookies stood out for you besides Traylon Burks? Which one of these guys that you saw this weekend that you were impressed by?
Well, it was fun getting to see Malik Willis out there. He had a nice stretch during team period and into 7-on-7. Theo Jackson did pick him off, but he bounced back from that, and nice seam route to Chigakonkwo. He hit Burks across the middle, and then he squeezed one in between a couple of defenders, one of which was Jackson breaking on the ball. So speaking of Jackson, he stood out a lot. I mean, you look at the second practice, it showed that he has a really good ability to just find the football, and he's around it. And he was impressive. Kyle Phillips on day one, just his quickness was impressive. But yeah, other than that, Reggie Roberson, just watching him in the drills, you got to really, Robertson, I got to get that right. Reggie Roberson, his speed and footwork was really impressive as well. So that's an undrafted free agent. I think he'll probably be one of those guys that, the Titans fans kind of latch on to, an undrafted free agent every year, and I think he's going to be the guy that they'll latch on to, and he was impressive.
Teron, allergies are just like a back. You don't say, I used to have a bad back. I used to have allergy issues. It's just part of living in this area, so you don't ever get away from it, unfortunately. Good stuff as always. Thanks for doing this.
You learn to deal with it, though.
That's right. That's right. That's no doubt about that. Appreciate it. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.
For sure. Appreciate it. I hope you got something good to eat because I didn't get any questions from you.
That's right.
Yeah. So you know the drill then.
Yeah.
You know what he was doing.
So TD has figured out the show. Didn't take long. Yep. Yep. Well done, sir. Well done. How about that? I just got called out by Toronto. I'll tell you what.
We kind of set the table for him.
Yes.
Did you say something? Yeah. Okay. All right. I honestly was just going to give him credit for figuring that out on his own. Look, when Dennis, the GM, comes over and says, hey, they just put food out, typically I'm going to be a –
That's your cue.
Oh, you're asking we can go get food? Yes. Okay. All right. See you guys later. We'll come back. There's been a hockey coach fired and a hockey coach hired. We'll tell you what we're talking about next.
So, what is Jared Stillman going to say this afternoon?
You got to play if you want to earn $14.6 million next year.
Oh, brother, here we go.
But I'm done on investing money in dudes that can't get on the field.
Tune in to Stillman and Company, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
This is some serious stuff right here.
Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Hillside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Hillside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now, 615-576-5000.
Empire Auto Parts has opened a brand new location in Nashville, Tennessee. They're hosting a hiring event with giveaways, sign-on bonuses, and more happening at Holiday Inn Express at the Crossings, 201 Crossings Place, May 16th through 20th from 9 a.m. to noon or 2 to 5. Empire Auto Parts offers hourly pay, full benefits, 401k matching, and more. Current job openings for warehouse associate, delivery drivers, customer service agents, account managers, and dispatchers. Apply now on Indeed at Empire Auto Parts Inc. Jobs or visit their website at empireautoparts.com.
Attention, buckaroos. It's time for the Franklin Rodeo, so saddle up and hold on to your lasso. It's 3 days of bull riding, calf roping, western wear, funny clowns, and some of the most talented horses you've ever seen. Join the Stampede this weekend. The Franklin Rodeo is held at the Williamson County Ag Expo Park and is brought to you by Franklin Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, Williamson Medical Center, Wesley Mortgage, and Event 1FX. Tickets on sale now at franklinrodeo.com. It's a buckin' good time.
It's watching the top players take the ice. It's hard-fought games that end in victory. It's showing your favorite team to your favorite people. Secure your seats for the 2022-23 Nashville Predators season today to ensure you never miss a game at Bridgestone Arena. Plus, enjoy Nashville locker room discounts, exclusive presale offers, and more. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets. Join the Loyal Legion today and paint the town Preds. That's NashvillePredators.com/season tickets. NashvillePredators.com/season tickets.
Tune in to ESPN 1025 The Game every Tuesday afternoon at 4:30 for ESPN's Trevor Maddich joining me, Jared Stillman, on Stillman & Company as we dive deep into the college football world and all the latest from the SEC. It's all brought to you by Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters.
Zines First is the official sign company for 1025 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
Listen to Stillman & Company with me, Caroline Fenton, all season long on ESPN 1025 The Game for your chance to win Nashville Sounds tickets courtesy of 312 Pizza Company in Germantown.
If you're on the road between downtown Nashville,
they're still in good shape to make the playoffs,
and I-840.
Players make it clear they don't want to be somewhere anymore.
There's a new way to hear all your favorite shows and sports programming on 1025 The Game.
I go back to that play and I shake my head. What I was worried about is that they were still just going to keep the goal.
It's 106.3 FM.
Think about all the good Titans teams.
This is very much so a run-first offense.
Now you have two choices to hear Nashville's best sports talk. Check out 106.3 now and add it as a favorite.
Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Nashville's best deal of the week, Bavarian Beer House. That's in Opry Mills. Bavarian Beer House, Nashville's only authentic German beer house. Full of fun, food, music, more importantly, beer. Head to the game, Nashville.com/deals. You get a $50 gift card, half off, $25, while supplies last. Back here on the DDC. While we were talking with TD, some things have happened in the hockey world. Vegas has relieved Peter DeBoer of his duties. Peter DeBoer out as the Golden Knights head coach.
This is the thing that gets me on that one. Why now?
Don't know.
So they let him. Were they just sort of thinking it over since the end of the season?
I don't know. It's a great question.
Did they know it was going to happen all along, and they just decided to wait until now to announce it?
That is going to be a very, very attractive position.
That team.
Because they have been aggressive from day one.
Oh.
They have signed. They've traded. They have not been afraid to go out and get big names, big contracts, and just keep trying to go for a cup every year. And this year they missed the playoffs. DeBoer out. I mean, you've got Tortorella. You've got Trotz. And, look, I'll keep saying it until, because, this whole thing of, oh, no, people say, yeah, right. Like we've seen in sports, like Deshaun Watson for one season was, he was a pariah. And then the Cleveland Browns just said, blah! We'll give you whatever you want. Here, biggest contract ever. Well, if Vegas is desperate and we don't know the ruling. What is Joe Quenneville? I don't know what the league is going to do. Joe Quenneville is a very, very attractive name for a team that's prepared to win now.
Trying to win right now.
Period.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's other stuff surrounding that, and people are like, oh, you can't go down that road. Like, yeah, right. Like, sports doesn't go down that road. They're phony. If they think they can win, and they'll manage some of the backlash, and they'll just move on from it. So I'm just saying, I'm going to throw him in there. I'm not going to just say no one's going to hire Q, because I don't believe that. And I think Vegas is going to be probably looking for a more proven commodity with a team like that.
You know, that definitely is going to be the talk out there. You just gave a really good short list of Hall of Fame kind of caliber coaches that have won the whole thing. And then you've got this young group of, I don't know if you'd say modern, but there's always some good coaches that come up through the ranks that are absolutely zero in terms of name recognition, that turn out to be really, really good coaches. Nobody had ever heard of Jared Bednar. Nobody had ever heard of Sheldon Keefe. All of these guys who have won a lot, at least in the regular season. But it would seem like you're looking for a coach that's going to make an immediate, because they've mortgaged the future.
Oh, yeah.
They've mortgaged the future from the very, very start.
They're in win now mode.
They didn't have a buildup of a farm system before they became a team, and then they took a lot of their high first-round picks that they acquired early and traded them off to get immediate help, like Jack Eichel and Max Pacioretty and on down the road. So they're not getting any younger. So that's going to be a really interesting job going forward. And also they have decided that, hey, we're Vegas. We like excitement. And they have signed up for the circus. And I don't think that there's any two ways about it. If you sign up to be the coach of Vegas, get ready to be the circus. Because I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. But it's one of the more intriguing stories of the offseason. But I just think it's weird that it's been, two and a half weeks since the end of the season, and just now they've decided, okay, we're parting ways with Pete DeBoer.
Well, that happens, though.
It does.
It's not always immediate.
And maybe Pete DeBoer, in his discussions with them behind the scenes, was like, look, if you're going in this direction and you feel about this, then maybe it is best that we part ways.
Well, don't forget the Jeff Fisher thing here. Didn't happen immediately.
Yeah, you're right.
It was lagged, and it affected the next head coach and him trying to hire his staff.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, hiring a staff in hockey is a little bit different than a football staff.
Yes.
A lot less moving parts. The other layer to this is the Islanders have found their man, and it's within. Lane Lambert is the new New York Islanders head coach. So this is interesting. Obviously, we got to know Lane when he was an assistant here, and he's been on Barry Trotz's staff for a long time. Long-time assistant of Barry Trotz. And we've talked about Lane Lambert getting this opportunity for a good while, and it's finally happened. What I don't understand, Willie, is why, if you're the Islanders and you're Lou, why would you move on from Barry Trotz to hire his longtime assistant?
Yeah.
Within? I mean, that doesn't make any sense at all to me. I'm happy for Lane, but why would you promote within if you say they need a new voice? Okay, yeah, Lane's younger. Lane's been under Barry forever. You think he's going to change up systems? No.
Well, that answers your question. You answering your own question, Darren.
What?
Why would they go from Barry to his assistant? It has something to do with personality.
Yeah,
and also personality.
You really think that's the difference for the Islanders?
Because they're essentially getting this philosophy-wise. You just said it. Philosophy-wise, how much is going to change?
Probably not a whole lot.
Exactly. So it has to do with personality. You know, why all of a sudden do you fire a coach that has been good for you? Well, it has to do with personality. Something's not – the two are not clicking.
Okay, so let me look, and this is not fair to Lane. I'm just going to say this and say it's not fair to Lane, but here goes. Yeah, Washington thought the same thing, and they fired Barry, and they hired his assistant. How did that work out?
Not so good.
Yeah.
By the way, He's no longer their head coach. He hasn't been their head coach in years. How'd that work out?
It didn't go well.
It didn't work out. It was awful. It was a disaster.
But Lou Lamoriello.
And they thought he was a younger, different voice, different guy. He'll be fine. He's the better version of Barry. It was a disaster. And again, I hate saying that about Lane, but we don't know. He's never been a head coach.
We don't know. And our whole theme of the show today is, does anybody really know? But Lou Lamoriello has got a winning track record. He did use this part of the playbook a lot in his past at New Jersey. He was well known for firing the coach and hiring this a lot of times during the season and not necessarily in the offseason. But he's done this before. So that's a really intriguing move. I wonder how Barry Trotz feels about that. Lane Lambert goes way back for those that are maybe newer to town. He was a Barry Trotz assistant for a few years here, going way back to the Nashville Predators days. In fact, some of the older Predator fans know the Lambert flow. You know, the assistants do the interviews in games sometimes on the broadcast. When Lane Lambert would come on, he had the great hair going. He's got a slightly different look now, but he's got good lettuce, right?
Was it better than Darren's?
Yeah.
I mean, he's right up there with that.
But when I was his age, I don't know, how old is Lane
had good
now,
lettuce
though?
back then.
Lane's can't be that much different than us. He's got to be right around the same, maybe a little older.
No.
Look it up.
All right, I'm going to say no.
He's a former NHLer. But I think Lane Lambert's been working for this for his entire career. He's been a long-time assistant. So he gets his shot here.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Gosh, he is older? I would not have thought that. I would have thought same or a little bit younger. Wow. Good for him. Is that real? Now I'm questioning. Is that real? Now I'm questioning. Is his hair real?
He's got a good flow.
Oh, man, you're jealous of his flow?
Now I am.
Yeah.
I thought, well, he's younger, of course.
But now with the Vegas job opening up, that is going to be interesting to see how now that Calgary's advanced and Edmonton is advanced, what does this mean for the Barry Trotz situation? Does Barry Trotz decide to sit back and wait a year, or does somebody really make a run? Because it's ever changing. Now you got a full group of 8 teams that have that end of the season sting. Pittsburgh joins the ranks. Toronto joins the ranks. You know, what's next for Toronto is going bonkers, as you can imagine. They've lost in the deciding game, either Game 7 or in the bubble it was Game 5 to Columbus. 5 straight years they've lost in the last game of the first round, and they have not won a playoff series since before the first lockout, 2004. So that was the year that the Predators made the playoffs for the first time. That's the last time the Leafs won a playoff series, 2004. So imagine the sting up there after what happened in their Game 7. So there's no telling what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I think it was Kayla Anderson on Twitter was talking about 2004. Remember what you were doing? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to the first playoff game for the Predators.
I was talking on a hard line at home. I had a home phone, 2004.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And you were actually talking on it?
18 years ago? Yeah. No, I said to her, Kayla Anderson from News 2, I was like, I had the cordless one. I thought I was like Cat Daddy.
In 04?
The cat, the wireless.
You were using your – I don't even think I was using my home phone.
I guess cordless is the better way to put it, right? The cordless, not wireless.
Cordless landline.
The cordless landline. I was like, yeah, I'm going to walk around the house.
You was the stuff. You were outside with your phone, too, wasn't you?
I leave the door open and let people see me talking on it. Like, watch this. I'll walk away. I also said that I wasn't taking pictures on my phone, my cell phone, in 2004.
Yep. I was announcing games on CSS.
Ooh. Yeah, you were.
Remember CSS? With Pat Sperduto, who's here today.
Yeah.
He was here.
All right, we'll come back. And
2004.
2004. Gary on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, wants to know, what are the early odds for the next Vegas coach? We'll talk about all the Game 7s over the weekend, and we'll see if we can dig up those odds. We'll do that next.
Checker flag!
Join Chase McCabe for Chasing Checkers every Sunday morning at 8 for all the news in the world of motorsports.
Joey Logano gets the very first victory in the next-gen car
while hearing from the big names.
Two-time champion Kyle Busch.
Being able to bring NASCAR, the Cup Series, back to Nashville is cool.
It's Chasing Checkers, presented by Apple Collision Centers and the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway
On ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Gary Ashton here. I love hearing people say, don't sell without the intel, because it means they're really embracing our message. Now's a great time to sell your home in Nashville, but you need the intel only the Gary Ashton team can provide. Intel that helps you sell your home without any staging or showings. Intel to find your next home so you can sell your current one while the market's hot. Intel to win the buyer battle and cash in on your home equity now. Let everyone else get the same information and compete for the same properties, while you get the intel edge with the Gary Ashton team, the official real estate team for your Tennessee Titans. And if you're looking for a great career, join our team. We added 65 new agents last year, and we want you to join us this year. Remember, don't sell without the intel. And if you're looking for a great career, the Gary Ashton team wants you in 2022. Call 615-301-1650 or visit GaryAshton.com today.
Do I need Medicare when I turn 65, or can I wait?
With more than 70 years of experience helping Tennesseans, Farm Bureau Health Plans can answer all your questions about Medicare.
Part A, B, C, D, it's all alphabet soup to me.
So if you're looking for an affordable way to cover the gaps left by Medicare or protection from the high cost of prescription drugs, you can plan on us to make it easy. Find out more at fbhp.com. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us.
You purchased a fine European automobile because of the amazing drivability and great looks. Then someone slid into you during a rainstorm. European Collision Repair is Nashville's premier location for collision repairs. Their state-of-the-art facility is certified by 30 vehicle manufacturers. The best part is their customer service, and they can provide an estimate simply by you sending in a photo of your damage. If you have a fine European automobile, have the repairs done at European Collision Repair. Go to EuropeanCollisionRepair.com.
If you've been thinking about remodeling your home's kitchen or bath, contact the countertop experts at Smoky Mountain Tops. Willie Donick here, and I'm proud to tell you about my longtime friends. We installed Smoky Mountain Top surfacing in our kitchen years ago, and it's remained durable and super easy to clean up. Smoky Mountain Tops is proud to offer the new prestigious Vidara Quartz for your kitchen or bath countertops. Check out the stunning new Vidara Quartz shown at Smoky Mountain Top Studio. Contact the pros at Smoky Mountain Tops. Quality, service, and dedication. SmokyMountainTops.com.
Nashville's best deal of the week is Bavarian Beer House at Opry Mills. Bavarian Beer House, Nashville's only authentic German beer hall, is full of fun, food, music, and most importantly, beer. Enjoy traditional German bratwurst, schnitzel, giant pretzels, and more in an Oktoberfest-inspired space. Visit BeerHouseNashville.com for their live music schedule. Get a $50 gift card for half off right now at thegamenashville.com/deals while supplies last.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
What's happening in Nashville? This is Scott Van Pelt. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Back here on the DDC, our show presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York certified comfort expert company. Schedule now at springhillac.com. Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, Derek Mason here at Hermitage Golf Course. We just saw Brent Peterson, the man, the myth, the legend. He's got his sticks. He's ready to go.
He's the guy you want on your squad.
The who's who walking around here at Hermitage Golf Course.
He can hit it.
We saw the suit, too, and I was like, hey, man, need you to come a little bit earlier, than 1 o'clock so we can go get our golf shoes and our clubs. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm going to need you guys to stay on till 1 o'clock because I've got suit duties.
Hey,
I'm
that's
like,
the suit, man.
Wow, how convenient.
It's the suit.
He's like, I need to make some announcements.
The suit has suit duties.
I'm like,
he has announcements to make.
And he's going to use that, he can use that line because you can't push back because you don't know one way or the other if it's true or not, I don't know.
I
Maybe
believe
he
him.
does. You believe him?
Yeah, he's the suit, man.
But what's he announcing?
I don't know. Maybe
What
that is
is
Monday.
And why can't he announce at 12:45 instead of 1?
Maybe he's announcing that it's Monday and it's a beautiful day. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
I have not seen any odds yet on the next Vegas coach. We'll keep looking though. But Peter DeBoer out, and he's a really good dude. Anyway, yeah. So that's probably why his leash was a little bit short. He's a handful.
Every sport's got a few of those guys, right? They come in.
yeah.
They usually win early, but there's a little bit of law of diminishing returns. They sort of wear out their welcome. But over the long haul, it's sort of that 5 and dive, or 2 or 3 years and dive. They win. They accumulate a lot of wins.
You know how long Vegas has been in the league?
5 years?
Yeah. Do you know what coach this will be for them?
4?
3.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Third coach in 5 years.
Yeah. Pretty good coaches, too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Third coach in 5 years.
How many championships have they won? Stanley Cups?
None.
Okay.
None. But third coach in 5 years.
They're trying to get there, I guess.
Well, they're not.
But I don't think you can get there if you keep changing up coaches every other year.
Well, that's
the way it seems.
That, again,
anyway.
is our theme of the day, is you don't like your team's philosophy, you want them to do things differently. I'll guarantee you I can come up with a lot of different teams in a lot of different situations who have tried exactly the one you're going for, and it hasn't worked. So there's no perfect way to build a team or to win a championship. It is hard.
So do you think the Vegas fans or any other fans are saying, so what's the plan?
Oh, definitely. Well, I think Vegas and Philadelphia, the Flyers, would be under the same thing. They are the kings of, we didn't win it, we're going to change it. Whether it's blow it up or whatever, it's like, it didn't win this year, we're going to try again, we're going to throw money at it, we're going to switch things around, but we're going to change. Well, it's usually not, hey, stay with it, it's working, we got to try it again, we're going to make some minor tweaks. There's usually not minor tweaks. It's usually it didn't work, scrap it, we're going to do something else.
It seems like hockey changes their coaches. Like I change my sheets.
They change
every other day.
They change a lot.
It's just like every other day,
true.
man. Like I change my socks or something.
Do you know who Peter DeBoer really is a twin of?
Peter Laviolette.
Yeah, it really is. When you look at what he's done, so
as far as winning wise,
so Vegas.
Now Lavi's got a cup.
They make the conference final, and he's out in year after year 3. So 3 years in Vegas, gone. Conference final, out. Didn't make the playoffs this year. San Jose made the cup final. Made the conference final in year 4. Fired in year 5. That was his long stint.
Yeah.
San Jose was his long stint, year 5. New Jersey made the cup final. Out after 4. Or out during year 4. Didn't even make it to the
I
end.
think that might have been a Lou Lamoriello. I think he might have still been there back then.
So
pretty sure.
Kudos to him that he made it to year 4, although that's kind of like Barry made it 4, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that's right, 4. And then Florida, he was out after year 3. So he really is a twin of Peter Laviolette, like you said, minus not winning it all. He's been there, but hasn't
He's
actually
won a lot. He wins everywhere he goes,
right.
except for Florida, where nobody wins. By the way, again, in perspective, Florida's in the second round. You know when the last time they won a round? 1996. Is the last time they,
wow, still in college.
Yeah, when they went to the Stanley Cup final. The first time they made it to the Stanley Cup final.
That was the last time they won a round?
It's the last time they won a round.
So them beating Washington was the first time they'd won a round since 96.
1996, before the Predators existed.
Wow.
Now, they got a heck of a team. That's going to be one amazing series. The Battle of Florida. You get the Battle of Florida, the Battle of Alberta. It's going to be awesome drama in the second round. But, again, perspective, Florida was a lost franchise for decades. So, it's intriguing. I think as far as drama is concerned, the NHL is on a good roll right now, on the ice and the stories off the ice.
There were some really good games. I was watching Calgary and Dallas. Man, that was whew.
What a game.
Calgary outshot Dallas 130-30.
Good Lord.
Or something like that.
At
one point
64 saves, I think.
It was like
Ottinger made
49 to
13 or
49 to
14.
14
Yeah.
at one point. I'm like, how in the world is this game 2-2? It's like they've been outshot 49 to 14.
Yeah, good goalie play.
Well, Ottinger was really good. Yeah. So the game sevens lived up to it. Toronto done again, first round again. Boy, you think Elliott's conversation won't be good this week?
Now, what do you do if you're Toronto? Right? You've got the utmost in pain. You feel like you've got an elite team. They had 115 points. They lost in the first round again. Now, if you're just one of those, give me the results, I don't care about anything else. You lost in the first round. But you lost to one of the greatest of the salary cap era in the Lightning in 7 games in which you were probably the better team. I thought Toronto outplayed them over the course of 7 games, but Tampa's just got that winning formula. They just know how to win, and they have the greatest goalie in the world right now. That was the difference. So what do you do if you're Toronto going forward? You fire the coach? Fire the GM? What do you do?
Doesn't that
you got salary cap
Doesn't
problems?
that seem like the trend of the NHL?
It does, and that's what a lot of people will say up there, but what do you do? Marner and Matthews, incredible players, haven't ever won a round.
Nope.
Not yet. And they're still fairly young, but what do? You
got to mix it up a little bit.
Get rid of them? Do you trade William Nylander? That's what a lot of people are saying. Another great player. But that's the guy everybody's saying, maybe you relieve some salary cap. I'll guarantee you'd have people lining up to get in on that game if you want to try to dismantle that team. And their goalie, Jack Campbell, who's kind of a no-name, overachieved, he's a free agent. They don't have a lot of money. What do you do?
Well, you know how that works. I mean, you keep losing the same. I mean, just things will happen. I mean, you can't keep trotting out the same thing. Especially in that market. They're going to be like, are you kidding me? Like, you have to tweak. Like, you have to make.
They're going to tweak.
You have to do
No,
something.
I know it's more than tweak, though, but you're going to have to do – you're going to have to subtract a big piece to try to change it up.
That is the question. That is the question, is do you do that? Because the spare parts that you have to – the big money is invested. We've talked about Toronto a lot. Marner, Matthews, Tavares, Nylander, those 4 guys alone make a giant part of their salary cap. So do you trade one of those 4? Tavares is 32. I don't know if anybody's taken that contract at this point. And you can't certainly get a whole lot back for them. But Nylander is the one. If you wanted to really shake it up, that's the one you'd look at. That's one Elliott would weigh in on, I think, on Thursday. But drama, off-season, we got that in Toronto.
I just looked at Ladarius.
Like we about to have some drama
Did we have
over
a
here.
liftoff? Because our tent just about.
Did it go airborne?
Oh, it was close.
Yeah.
Like, it was enough for Ladarius to get up out of his chair and we're like, what's going on? Got a little bit of wind out here.
Tie a string to that, Willie, and then tie to your belt buckle, your belt loop.
Okay.
Tie a string to your belt loop and then to the thing so it won't go
That's
nowhere.
what we'll do.
Yeah.
All right, come back. Tell us what you know. George Thorogood tickets and the Destroyers at the Ryman.
Ooh.
You got to tell us what you know. 615-737-1025. We'll do that to close out hour number 2. Vince Ferrara will head east. A little Smoky Mountain rain to begin hour number 3. Right now, summer heat is on the way, or should I say it's here. Wow, what a great weekend it was. The weather is fantastic here today at Hermitage Golf Course. We know the heat is probably here to stay. And I think for a lot of you, you're going to welcome that. But is your air conditioner ready to deal with the heat for the X amount of months it's going to be really, really hot here? We know costs are rising everywhere. Your grocery bill, it's a lot more expensive to go grocery shopping. Fill up your gas tank, it's a lot more expensive to do that. Utility bills, you name it, we know you got to spend more money today, and that's it's pretty painful. But is your AC old, inefficient, and costing more than it should? Well, interest rates are rising, but not at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Qualified buyers have up to 72 months, no interest for a new York air conditioner and 6 months no interest for repairs. That's at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. All new systems come with 10 years parts and labor warranty. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York certified comfort expert company. You can schedule now at springhillac.com.
Want the latest on the Predators from the people that cover them?
Heck of a year so far for the Predators. They've been so much fun to watch.
Join Robby Stanley for Preds Insiders every Monday at 6.
I feel probably as good about this group of 6 on D.
Presented by Dr. Kelly Rice on Smashville's best sports talk. ESPN 1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
Parman Energy is your one-stop petroleum solution across all of Tennessee, offering turnkey petroleum solutions for professionals in major industries, serving trucking fleets, construction companies, industrial plants, and more. Whether a large corporation or owner-operator, Parman Energy has your diesel fuel, lubricant, DEF, and equipment needs. No matter how you're getting there, start with Parman. Visit ParmanEnergy.com for more info. Your Tennessee petroleum solution, providing totally outrageous customer service.
How do you make the most of your land? If you ask the Wrens, who run with us on a John Deere mower, they tell you,
I mow first, then I do all the trimming.
But the Hubbards, who work behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor, would say,
if it's something you want, just go after it and try it.
Then there's the Mosers, who may mention from the seat of their John Deere Gator UTV,
You can't be all work and not play.
there are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn how to make the most of yours at Deere.com. Nothing runs like a Deere.
So, what is Jared Stillman going to say this afternoon?
You got to play if you want to earn $14.6 million next year.
Oh, brother, here we go.
But I'm done on investing money in dudes that can't get on the field.
Tune in to Stillman and Company, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
This is some serious stuff right here.
Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk. ESPN 1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform. Some things you just know. I have to know.
Do you think everybody knows?
When you know, you just know. It's time to set the record straight. Join the fun on This Is What I Know with Darren, Donick, and Chase.
We do. We want to know what you know. It's that simple. 615-737-1025. Just tell us what you know. It's an open canvas. Take it wherever you want. It's cool. We got a great prize. Great prize attached to it. George Thorogood and the Destroyers at the Ryman. And I've lost everything. No, I've got it. Okay, I got it. I'm back. George Thorogood at the Ryman this week. 615-737-1025. Who would like to start?
I'll start it off. This is what I know. The Commodores on the baseball field.
Lionel Richie?
This is the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Oh, the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Hey, you said Commodores?
Big fan. Brick House. Easy like Sunday morning. Come on, I can play that game. But I'm talking about the Vandy boys. Very nice win. Arkansas on the road, and Darren, you've heard Tim Corbin talk about how hard it is to win at Arkansas. They have a crowd of 11,000 every week. It's a great college baseball
I think his
atmosphere.
words were it's just a little bit different there than everywhere else.
Well, there was a raccoon on the field on Friday night.
Yeah, I heard Robbie
a live raccoon.
and Joe talking about that. I did not see that.
Yeah, I saw it.
You've seen the video.
A fan had to wrangle a raccoon.
That's not a good idea.
No, it's not a good idea.
It's really a bad idea.
But this guy had it, and he also
It's not smart.
And fortunately, safely, they got the raccoon, back to its natural
Yeah, but they
habitat.
said he got bit, which I'm not surprised.
No,
Exactly.
what do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen?
Pick up a raccoon by its tail. Raccoon is doing raccoon stuff.
That's
Leave
right.
the raccoon alone, okay?
But he's kind of in your
I get it. T-Rack, and you're like, oh, cute, cuddly, mascot, Titans. No, they bite. Like, and you have to get shots. Like, they're not. They will
They're
take.
not little furry little creatures.
No,
you can rub
you don't
on.
want to pick them
Snuggle
up
with.
and snuggle. Yeah,
No.
hugs. No hugs for raccoons.
But Vanderbilt took 2 out of 3 from the Razorbacks, number 4 in the country. Arkansas is. They had won 18 of their previous 19 SEC series at home.
There was
going
a rain
back
delay
4
in
years.
one of them, wasn't there?
There was a rain delay in Game 2, the one game that Arkansas won. So yesterday they had a freshman, Carter Holton, throw a shutout in the third game. It was a shortened game because of the rain. They only went 7 innings, but he stepped up big time. And then in extra innings in Game 1, Enrique Bradfield, who's really coming on, hit a 3-run homer to put him ahead in the 10th inning. So great series win. So behind the scenes, Vanderbilt, who took a beating early, right? They got swept by Tennessee. They're creeping back up into the picture here. They've got a huge weekend coming up against LSU in the regular season final series. If they can win 2 out of 3, they may get back into that hosting the first round of the regionals, which is what anybody wants to do. So good job for the Vandy boys.
What are they, 24th in the country somewhere?
They
around
were
there?
going into last weekend. They'll go up some, I think, after. And their RPI, their strength of schedule, is really, really high. It's much higher than their ranking. So we'll see how much that comes around.
All right, this is what I know. For all those people that say there's no defense being played in the NBA, I don't know what y'all look at. I really don't understand what kind of bad. Do y'all want it to go back to the 80s where, people are getting clubbed?
Yes, let's go back to the 80s.
And,
Or the 90s,
purposely,
the 90s.
hitting the back of the head and push and kick. Y'all want to go back to that? That was almost borderline assault, but they allowed that back then. In today's basketball, you can't do that. You have to move your feet. You have to use your hands. You have to get in ball lanes.
You got to guard a guy
Exactly.
28 feet away from the basket.
Absolutely. With the players being much better than they are now, than what they were, more athletic. The court just, with all these guys that are averaging at least 6'5", playing defense is hard because these guys are superior athletes. But there are teams that manage to play defense. And they play defense in the playoffs, i.e. Boston Celtics. They play defense. And it showed. When they beat Milwaukee in the 7th game, they just totally shut down everybody with the exception of Giannis. He had, 30, 20, and he almost had a triple-double. But beside that, there is defense play in the NBA. When people say that, it's because they don't watch the NBA, and that's just a sort of a lazy answer to throw out there because you don't pay attention to the sport. But they do play defense in the NBA.
May the Phoenix Suns rest in peace.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Down by 46 at one point at home in Game 7. Oh, boy.
All right, we've got loaded lines. What do you know? Let's start things off with Eric. Eric, what do you know?
This is what I know. So the story last week was that Tom Brady signed a huge deal with Fox, and everybody said, oh, Tom Brady, once he retires and gets into the booth or whatever he does is going to be great. That's not necessarily true, guys. I'm old enough to remember, what about guys like Roger Staubach, Joe Montana? And there are even reports now about Drew Brees that he signed that he's not sure, well, I'm going to come back to football, but there are reports he wanted to do color commentary, but then there are reports from NBC that he didn't do as good of a job and he's not preparing for his work. Guys, just because you're a great quarterback does not mean you're going to be either great in the booth or color commentary. That is what I know. Y'all take care.
I do remember Joe Montana was not real comfortable in the studio.
No.
I've listened to Richard's podcast on this. Tom Brady, just the amount of investment.
I can't believe he didn't even flench.
He did.
Like, I was like,
Richard, you're going to throw out a Richard Rhodey reference today? Good grief. Talk about being going on a tangent. But are we guaranteed that he could be worth that money? I mean, he just blew the competition away. We just talked about how much Troy Aikman just got a raise, and Romo makes a ton of money. All these guys. And then Tom Brady just went to another stratosphere.
That we're going to blow the market away because that's the only way you have a chance of getting them. It's Brady and Manning.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can do it.
And we just watched Drew Brees have like a midlife crisis and say he might go play pickleball or might go back and play quarterback.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even know if he's coming back to NBC. They just did that. So all I'm saying, I would have thought Drew Brees would be pretty good.
Nate, what do you know?
This is what I know, fellas. The Titans will miss a huge opportunity if they do not bring that Arkansas fan in to hoist T-Rack after a Traylon Burks touchdown this year.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Again,
That's
I'm
what I
not
know,
sure it's
fellas.
– are you talking about T-Rack or the actual raccoon?
T-Rack. Because do we really want him to get bit again?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's not
Exactly,
good.
exactly.
Okay, all right.
Exactly.
T-Rack. All right, I like it, Nate. Well, there needs to be a bit, right?
Yeah.
Where it involves an Arkansas fan or something around Arkansas and T-Rack. I'm with you on that. That's good. Let's go to Barrett down in the Borough. What do you know?
Well, I know that these upset Predator fans would feel a lot better if they only knew what the plan was. So, Willie, you need to get your influence to get right on that, okay?
We have got to figure this out.
It's a new week, Barrett.
Got to
We're
figure
going to
this
start
out.
this again.
Yes.
But in all seriousness, Darren, this is what I know, that you're wrong about the allergies. And I know this firsthand. I'm from here, been here half a century or more. And in the early 80s in high school, I had severe allergies. I couldn't go outside. I was debilitated, like the boy in the bubble. It was horrible. And I went for a year and a half. I went for a year and a half every Wednesday and got an allergy shot. And this was 1981 and 82. And I have not so much as sneezed from an allergy in the ensuing 40 years. So there is remedies. This was a long time ago. I'm sure the technology has advanced tremendously, but it's very possible. And much like the vaccine, you just had to wait 15 minutes to make sure you didn't have a reaction. And then you're free to go. I rode my bike every Wednesday after school for a year and a half, and I'm standing outside now breathing in all the pollen. It's wonderful.
Wow. All right, there's hope. Thank you, Barrett.
There you go.
Get an allergy shot. Kenny, the mailman, what do you know?
Well, actually, I'm now known as Kenny the Guardian Mailman, remember?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
This is
If
correct. We covered this on Friday.
Yeah, if I have permission from Darren, I'd like to piggyback on his fishy tale about PETA from Friday. Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, Russell Wilson tried to do something really good for Mother's Day. He bought his beautiful wife and his children a little puppy named Bronco. Have y'all seen the story?
No.
You can see the dog's picture on the internet and everything. Well, unfortunately, PETA took the opportunity to put out a proclamation that no one should ever get a dog, and it shouldn't be from a breeder, and it shouldn't be purebred. It's evil. You should go and adopt a dog from the shelter. That's the only way to get it. But the problem was they assumed that it was from a breeder, and they assumed that it was purebred. None of that was in the story. Have you ever had a coach dissect the word assume for you?
Yes.
Okay. They actually turned themselves into an animal to represent PETA because they assumed that animal was not adopted from a shelter, which I think they said they went and did. So they made an ass out of you and me just talking about Russell's little doggy.
Yeah. I guess, as we say in the South, bless their hearts. I mean, like I said, I'm pro-animal, but PETA I kind of just roll my eyes at them. I guess that's
just a doggone story, right?
Nice, Kenny.
Y'all have a great day.
You too.
You know what my mom would say? Stay out of grown folks' business.
Yeah.
Peter, stay out of grown folks' business.
I used to think they had – I know they had good intentions, and I know they do, but, gosh, they just go way
just stay out of
way
grown
too
folks'
far.
business.
Last one quickly. Clay, what do you know?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Great.
This is what I know. Two things, actually. D. Mace is still the man. Titans wide receivers. You're my favorite, Derek.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mr. Tim Corbin is the best college baseball coach in America. I think that was proven this weekend. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Y'all just hating on UT. Just hating on UT. Hating on UT again.
Well, you know what? Let's come back and talk about
Here we
UT. Third hour next.
From Franklin to Germantown,
You're forcing defenses to make a decision.
we are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Don't miss Nashville SC versus CF Montreal on May 18th at 7:30 p.m. Come on into Geodis Park and get closer, bolder, and golder at Nashville SC's. Single match tickets are on sale now at nashvillesc.com/singletix.
This segment of ESPN 102.5 The Game is brought to you by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Nashville's own Big Machine Distillery welcomes you to the inaugural Tennessee Whiskey Trail Experience to celebrate International Tennessee Whiskey Day on May 21st. Tickets are limited, so get them now at tnwhiskeytrailexperience.com. Tickets include tastings from 30 Tennessee Whiskey Trail distilleries, a Glencairn glass, food pairings, live music, cigar lounge, and you can buy bottles to go. Educational and mixology classes earlier too. May 21st, tnwhiskeytrailexperience.com.
Do you have a VA loan? In this housing market, homeowners with VA loans have access to a ton of instant cash. Willie Donick here. If you need cash for that home improvement or want to finally be credit card debt-free, how does a check for 80 or 90 grand sound right now? Loan Pronto is helping veterans every day get the money they need with a quick and easy, zero-cost cash-out refi with zero closing costs. With a VA loan, it's really cool because you can access up to 100% of your home's value. Use that money to pay off all your high-interest debt or remodel your kitchen, or both. Loan Pronto's all-digital process makes it fast and easy. They're doing loans with super low APRs, and they love working with veterans. In fact, Loan Pronto does zero down purchases for veterans buying a new home. Call now to see what your options are. Call Loan Pronto at 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780. Or go to loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval.
Empire Auto Parts has opened a brand new location in Nashville, Tennessee. They're hosting a hiring event with giveaways, sign-on bonuses, and more happening at Holiday Inn Express at the Crossings, 201 Crossings Place, May 16th through 20th from 9 a.m. to noon or 2 to 5. Empire Auto Parts offers hourly pay, full benefits, 401k matching, and more. Current job openings for warehouse associate, delivery drivers, customer service agents, account managers, and dispatchers. Apply now on Indeed at Empire Auto Parts Inc. Jobs or visit their website at EmpireAutoParts.com.
Hey, Nashville, it's Chase McKay, Program Director of ESPN 102.5 The Game, and there's a new way that you can hear Nashville's best sports talk. It's on 106.3 FM. From downtown Nashville to Spring Hill on I-65 and to Murfreesboro on I-24, you now have two choices to hear our great sports talk programming. And, of course, the Nashville Predators. Check out 106.3 now and save it as a preset.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell media station.
Informative conversation while you work. This is the DEC. Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Smoky Mountain rain keeps on falling. I keep on calling her name.
Hour number 3. It just is not the same. See, Derek, how that just gets us in the mood for Vince. What was it, last week we had the fumble of no Smoky Mountain Rain, and I got to be honest, I felt that the interview was sluggish.
I mean, if y'all are not putting on a man's theme song, then
What are we doing?
Yeah, how's he supposed to get ready and hype, man?
And how are we supposed to get ready?
Exactly.
And hyped. Well, that's not the case this week. Vince Ferrara, sports animal, WNML in Knoxville, now joins us. What's up, Smokey?
What's up, gentlemen?
Feel a little bit better now that they got your theme song all situated?
Well, Derek, you have to be able to create your own juice, right? You can't just depend on those outside circumstances. You have to still be able to perform. So hopefully, we're ready to go, but that's for sure.
What do you remember about 1995? Anything stand out to you?
Yeah. I don't think I had any sort of full grasp of the internet, which had just kicked in a year or two before.
No, I didn't either.
I actually thought you were going to ask me about 2004. My brain started going there a little bit, but the world was a lot more different back in 1995, to your point. But yeah,
I may have still had a mullet. I'm not sure if that was post mullet or. I think it was post-mullet. I think I was done with the mullet by 95, but, yeah, I was done with it.
95 was the last time I walked around without a shirt on.
That is not true.
Yes, it is.
No, that is not true.
Yes, it is.
That is not true. You used to mow the yard not too long ago without a shirt on. That is not true.
Whether it's true or not, at least he had a last time, unlike some of us that never had a first time.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you the guy at the beach in the pool with the shirt on? Are you that guy, Vinny?
No, what I used to do, and this probably was in '95, but back in my college days, working at theme parks and water parks and stuff, I had the bright colored jacket that you'd wear with no shirt underneath, but you'd wear the jacket, so it was kind of puffy, and people can kind of think you had a better figure than you did, and you just kind of walked around cool. I'm Italian, so the button, the zipper was down a little bit lower, but you did your best with it, and you kind of faked it till you could make it.
Yeah, I just the T-shirt guy, it just cracks me up.
Right. In the pool,
man. If you got to do that to do this, then maybe you just don't do this.
I say, man, just take it off, man. Just take the shirt off and dive in.
Let's not act like it's all catalog models here at the beach or the pool, okay? Okay, everybody comes in different shapes and sizes. Take that shirt off. Don't
express yourself.
Don't jump in the pool with your shirt on.
Dad bod.
Or get in the ocean with their shirt on. Come on. You got nothing to hide. It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, the reference is that was the last time the Vols won the regular season. Last time they were regular season champs. Now, I know we'll probably you're treating this like a negative. You're trying to make it like this was forever. 95. Well, I mean, it has. This is just a fact. It's been since 95. We knew this was going to happen this year. They took, 2 of 3 from the Bulldogs from Georgia this weekend. So this is all setting up for what for UT moving forward, Vince?
Well, I don't think that anyone would take that as a negative. I know Tennessee has been checking off so many boxes that they hadn't done in a long time or hadn't done ever over the last couple of years, that it's kind of those things are just highlighting how thin it was in those years up until the last couple of years under Tony Vitello, but also how incredible the accomplishments are now. So I think people are used to those kind of accomplishments and hurdles. But what it does is that now you're secure for the 1 seed in the SEC tournament. There's obviously a great chance, although not 100% set, it's a great chance they'll be the number 1 overall seed when the NCAA tournament seedings are put out. And look, here's the thing about the number 1 overall. It's great to brag about. It'll be put on recruiting one sheets and just added to the things that they're accomplishing. But Jeff Muir, who does stats for ESPN SEC Network, he's my stat guy for high school football. He's unbelievable. He passed this note along to me, just crazy. The last time the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA baseball tournament.
Let's guess. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Don't give the answer.
Okay.
No, because we don't know the answer. Give it out, and then we're going to try to guess.
Okay, the last time.
You just gave it.
Guess who
the last time the number 1 overall seed won it, right?
Okay, yes, that year was 1999.
1999.
The last time the
USC?
number 1 overall seed was not USC.
Mm.
That's how long it's been. You're
Wow.
the best team in the regular season. That team doesn't win the national championship.
That's pre-Tim Corbin.
That is a great stat.
So, do you want me to tell you who?
1999.
That was 99. Let's go with like Cal State Fullerton.
No.
1999, number 1 overall seed, Arizona.
No, it was another team that was
LSU.
known during those big bat. No, it wasn't LSU. Another team that
LSU,
was
no?
really good back in those popping bat.
What
days.
conference?
Yeah, I would say that would be the peak of out-of-control offense, not enough pitching to go with it. And it was a few years after that it started to come around to where it is now, which is a much better product, a much more balanced game with pitching depth.
What
Back
conference?
then it was
ACC.
ACC.
North Carolina?
Florida State.
Florida
Miami.
State. That might be good.
Wait, I think I heard it.
Miami.
Miami?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think they were ACC back then. They are now, but
They were not back then.
No, they were not.
Yeah, so that just shows you when you're the targeted, you're the team. I think it also speaks to how difficult it is when you get to Omaha because there are so many really good teams. And chances are everybody else is hot, just like you, to get there. But first things first, SEC tournament in Hoover. Right now, Tennessee would play the third game, the Wednesday game, 4:30 Central, against the 8-9 winner that'll play in single elimination on Tuesday. Right now, that's Florida versus Ole Miss. And guess what? Those are now two of the hotter teams in the SEC. Ole Miss has swept the last couple of series, and they've won 7 straight. Florida is 9-2 since they were swept at home by Tennessee. You know, Texas A&M has gotten hot late in the year. It's crazy how things have really. Vanderbilt's playing better. So the first time they got over 500, they had, as you guys know, had that 500 hump. It took them a while to get over, but now they did with their series against Arkansas. So the Hoover is going to be really interesting with some teams on the rise, and then obviously, a lot of teams having a lot to play for to try to improve and get regional host opportunities.
Vince, I got one for you on the baseball before I'll turn it over to Derek. I'm curious in the evolving, and this is all, I think it's taken even a step further this direction since the pandemic, and a lot of older players have the option of coming back. Also, you've got the minor league contraction. What is the makeup of the Tennessee roster in this sort of modern game where rosters tend to be older? Like, how many of their guys are straight out of high school? How many guys are transfers? And how many of those guys are sort of like older guys that, you know, because that's kind of that's kind of the blend of a winning team these days, it seems like.
Absolutely. Great question, Willie. It's old with some freshmen. So they have a blend of it, and honestly not a ton in between. Their outfield, left field, they've been playing a number of different guys. They're probably settled on Seth Stevenson Jr. He's a JUCO. Gilbert and Beck in the outfield, junior, both could be first-round picks. Infield, you go senior, junior, redshirt, sophomore. That's been in the program 3 years, and 6-year graduate senior in Luke Lipsius, graduate senior catcher. Then you get on the mound, their back of the bullpen guys are older, junior, senior guys. Joyce, who throws 105, is a redshirt junior. But then the rotation is freshman, sophomore, freshman, and now they put Joyce in there this past weekend. And Dolander's a sophomore too. So very young in some spots, but super old in some others, and juniors that have been playing. So it is a blend, and I think that's the right combo that you want in order to succeed. I don't know that you want all old or all young. I think Tennessee has a nice mix there.
We're talking with Vince Farrar, 99.1, the sports animal there in Knoxville. Vince, are you, Boston ended up winning, and the only reason I'm talking about Boston because obviously Grant Williams, but they seventh game and Grant Williams had an awesome game, 27 points.
He also took like 500 shots. It
Yeah.
seemed like here, shoot another one, Grant. Shoot another one.
But he has morphed his game so much that he's become a really good three-point threat. I think he's shooting over 41% from the three-point line in this year's postseason. Did you expect him to transform his game this much from when his days at UT?
Yeah, I think what you saw from him in Tennessee, he wasn't taking a bunch of threes, but he did have the green light too at times in rhythm in the right situations. But he was an absolute beast from two-point range. But with his stroke, you knew that in the NBA, because he's a little bit of an undersized post, he's going to need to be able to shoot the three. It took him a while to get going. It was 0 for his first 25 in the NBA in shooting threes. I mean, he struggled early, but man, he continues to put in the work. And yes, they left him open and dared him to shoot. But man, you gotta make 7 threes still, and that tied the NBA record for a game 7 in made threes with Steph and a couple other people. Unbelievable. 27 points career high. Never led Boston in scoring. 6 rebounds. So you knew that he was going to have to develop that, even though he didn't rely on it a lot at Tennessee. And Darren especially will really like this, D. Mace. Somebody on Twitter said this weekend, Grant Williams played so well that he was going to count that as a Rick Barnes postseason victory.
Okay, well, listen. Okay, with that being said, because Darren did get on Rick Barnes because he hasn't been able to advance further than what many felt he should have in recent years. They've added a 5-star commit for their 2022, I believe, class. So what's next for the Vols?
Well, Julian Phillips is a big pickup. I mean, versatile guy, 6'8", so gives them some size. Could play the 4, the 3. It gives them a guy that can create his own shot and score. Again, super athletic. Barnes really loves the fact that he has got the culture and the work ethic that, or the makeup and the work ethic that they want in those elite type of athletes. I think that's the 6th 5-star signed by Rick Barnes. So they needed a guy with some size and athleticism, and I've been saying this a lot. Tennessee needs bigs that are bouncy and can get up off the floor. Too often they've got size, but they're just not athletic enough to go get putbacks or be good around the rim or be shot-blocking presences. So he's really big. After that, there's 2 guys to look for. One is a 2022 guard, former Tulsa commit, DJ Jefferson. Crazy athletic. He visited Tennessee this past weekend. Another guy visited, another big, that's got a relationship and ties to Zakai Ziegler. He's from New York, Toby Owaka. And actually a third guy is Iowa State transfer Tyrese Hunter. He was the Big 12 Freshman of the Year, top 40 guy in the 2021 class. He's transferring from Iowa State, one of the top transfers out there. So Tennessee's in the top 6. Tennessee's in his top 6. So those would be 3 guys to look for, and they have 3 spots available. You land all 3, you're looking good. So, but Tennessee landing Phillips was a big piece for this team that's been hit hard by the transfer portal.
Now, Vince, if they are able to, they got 3 spots left. If they're able to get, say, 1 or 2 more 4 or 5-star players in that program, how much does that up the ante for Rick Barnes this upcoming season?
The expectations, I think, had already moved up. It might have been Gary Parrish, one of those national writers, had moved up Tennessee to number 10 in next year's preseason ranking. That's a touch high for me right now. Yes, you got to fall back on the development and where they were last year, and bringing in B.J. Edwards, really talented freshman guard from Knoxville. But I still think they needed to do more. Now Phillips is a big part of that. So I think if they were to add a talent like Hunter, especially, I think then is a guy that's got experience. Then that creeps things up. even more, and you're going to see more people move them in the top 10. Right now, I'd still say in the 15-ish range. But look, we got to see how everybody else's rosters size up because it's a comparison. You can't just stick a number and say, I think they're that. It depends on where they fall compared to everybody else that may or may not be really successful in the transfer portal. But that's kind of the range, I would say, right now, with room for more people to advance them if they add another guy or two.
Jeff on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, says Grant Williams was 10 of 22 and 7 of 18 from behind the arc. You guys just cannot hide your disdain for everything that is Tennessee.
You haters. You haters.
I'm a haters. Tell you what, DDC's haters. I hate orange. I hate them. I just hate them. Good
That's
stuff.
What I'm here for. Is the balance. Keep you guys.
Vinny, appreciate it as always. Great stuff. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Vince Ferrara, the sports animal, WNML in Knoxville. Y'all just haters.
I'll contribute to the hate, even though I mean this in a good way. But Grant Williams, I loved when Jeff Van Gundy was talking about how he exaggerates the contact. And I was thinking, we've seen that going back. To
don't they all do?
Yeah, way to just.
But he is.
Yeah, don't they all do?
More text though. Thanks, Willie.
Yeah,
Thanks for going.
But he's just hating.
There you go. Just again,
he's got it down to an art form.
More hate, spewing hate.
He's got it down to an art form.
Yeah,
he does.
But there were a couple times where he flopped and he looked at the ref, and the ref was like, "No, I'm not buying it."
I hope Jeff was having fun on their text line. I hope.
Yeah.
All right, we'll come back. More DDC next.
Inside knowledge on the Titans.
Todd Downey's got his notepad out right now, just writing things down.
Inside knowledge on the Predators.
They can go right into the forecheck, and boom, you get a beautiful goal from Colton Sissons.
And then there's a team in Knoxville.
How excited should Tennessee fans be by what they've seen from Josh Heupel in year one?
Wake up and hang out with Robby and Rexrode. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Sunny, a little bit less humid, and cooler this afternoon. Highs upper 70s and lower 80s, but we make another run at the 90s in the second half of the week.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hey, Nashville, what's the best part of hockey? That's rhetorical. We all know the answer. It's the 3-on-3 overtime, the speed, the skill, the tic-tac-toe passing. It is electric. Well, now there is a new, totally 3-on-3 ice hockey league called 3 Ice, coming to the Music City on August 6th. They're playing at Bridgestone Arena, and tickets are available now at 3ice.com. 6 teams touring across 9 cities, playing a bracket-style tournament at each stop. It's overtime all the time. Hair on fire hockey. Log on to 3ice.com for tickets now.
Hey y'all, it's Caroline Fenton, and I want to tell you about my friends over at 312 Pizza Company. 312 Pizza is my favorite place in town. It's family owned and operated, bringing you a slice of Chicago to Nashville. 312 Pizza Company specializes in deep dish pizza, thin crust pizza, and all things Chicago style, always made from scratch using secret family recipes passed down generation to generation. 312 Pizza is open every day except for Tuesday and is located in Germantown with dine-in, takeout, and curbside available. Call 615-730-7888 or head to 312pizzaco.com to order. 312 Pizza Company, Nashville's authentic Chicago pizzeria.
In a world where human interaction seems to be reduced to chats and clicks and emails, where transactions are measured only by speed, where corporate policies overrule common sense, sometimes you just want to go old school. Welcome to Genesis Diamonds, a refreshing experience where personal relationships and authentic interaction are the norm, not the exception. At Genesis, you're here celebrating something awesome in your life, and we want to know all about it. We want to hear your story, listen to your requests, and be a meaningful part of whatever occasion this is. A proposal, an anniversary, a birthday, graduation, push gift, sweet 16. If it's important to you, it's important to us. So we don't care how long it takes. We're not paid on commission, and we're not beholden to some corporate rule book. We just want to help you get what you want to make it into a special memory. So take a break from modern shopping and go old school with us at Genesis. Let's start a real relationship that you can count on for life. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills, and Cool Springs.
Hi, I'm Yusuf Saros.
and this is Smashville.
Now here's a try off to the side. What a stop made by UC Saros there.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 1025, The Game.
Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Here on the DDC, we have got,
we got a problem.
Just a huge dilemma.
It's a problem.
And Joe Rexrode.
And there's not an easy solution.
And now the morning show is officially here, and they've walked up on this situation that is quite a mess.
It's a developing situation.
So Willie is presenting a shoe situation, his golf shoes. And I didn't realize the extent of the situation until I looked at them. And I realized he's out here representing the radio station. He's representing the Predators organization. He's representing
the Donick name.
The Donick name.
Yeah. The family. Now Bill thought it's interesting.
Yeah,
Bill walks
I think
up
he
because
should take a picture.
He's familiar
of
with
your
my
shoes.
background.
Yeah.
As a golfer,
And
which
so
is
he takes
it's
pictures.
a checkered.
Take pictures of your shoes and put that out for everybody to see.
It's a checkered past, to say the least.
It's so bad.
Hold on.
See, like now
Willie,
he's getting
Yeah.
sympathy
Willie,
from
no.
people. People are
Who
like,
is he getting sympathy
Willie,
from?
There's no
man,
sympathy.
it's-
Willie, let me
it's
see your
okay.
shoes. Let me
like,
see 'em.
people are gathering to see. Look at it. Show it. Look at
Oh my word, Willie. Willie, seriously?
We have a breakdown.
Look,
seriously.
let me just say. I'm going to expose.
You are the television play-by-play guy for the Nashville Predators, right?
Who doesn't
Look
play
at this.
golf? Who does not play
And
golf?
he's got. First of all, I said.
And he got duct tape on his shoes.
I go. You play in Brent Peterson's golf tournament. He
Exactly.
gives everybody $100
Right.
to
Which
go
I-
spend in the pro shop.
Which I used to get these shoes.
In 2003.
No, not 2003.
You've been in 17 other Brent
No.
Peterson golf tournaments.
Look,
wow.
I got these shoes, and it was in the last time I played golf.
that is not
Willie,
true.
we don't want to
I
hear
do not
that.
believe
No,
that.
Willie.
That is not true. Look, Joe.
But now, can I describe the situation?
First of all, Joe walked up, and I said, Joe, look at his golf shoes. And
Immediately
he
there
tried
was
to
photographic.
but he was trying to be so nice to you without just pounding you. The look on his face was he just swallowed a grenade. Like, I really want to tell you how I feel, but I can't. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. But the look told us a lot.
What is your explanation, Willie?
Okay.
What's your explanation?
Do we have extra headset for Joe? Because I want him to try to be honest. Because I just kind of feel like we didn't get an. He just kind of stayed quiet, which tells you, right?
Yeah, he really.
If I'm
yeah.
just going to be quiet, I really don't want to weigh in
Like
on
your mother
this.
said, if you ain't got nothing to say, don't say nothing at all.
Nothing
if you ain't
nice.
got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
Yeah.
But I brought this to you, my friends. I could have kept this secret until we got out onto the
until
course.
you got out of the golf course, and we all
then-
saw it.
Right. Now, Bill Thorpe is here. He goes back to the days, my early days, when I didn't own golf shoes. And my co-hosts at the
Yes.
time, George
Yes.
Plaster, Joe Biddle, gave me unrelenting.
Right, because you're out there in flip-flops and sneakers.
No, not
and-
flip-flops. Never flip-flops.
But not the
sneakers,
proper attire.
Sneakers, yeah, not the proper attire, and I would hear about that every time. So I've had some golf shoes through the years, but this is what happened. I got these, my latest pair of golf shoes at the Brent Peterson event with the gift card, and I'm going to estimate more like 2018. 2019, and I don't play very much golf.
I
so
know exactly.
I
Those are the Jordan Spieth 2010s right there.
Is that what it says on here?
By the way, he looked and he was like, "Oh crap!"
Maybe.
Hey, like he literally had to look at, "Oh crap!" Does it say 2010?
I don't know that it's not true. I don't know that it's not true.
Yeah.
Now, here's what happened. These shoes were in perfectly good condition when I played my round with my team this past September. Annual event. You know, Brent Peterson, the Predators Foundation, Peterson for Parkinson's. By the end of the round, I had a sole problem. Part of the sole came off. It was not detached, but it was kind of flopping around. I tried to glue it back on. It didn't work.
You didn't use Gorilla Glue?
I didn't own Gorilla Glue.
Oh, you
JB Weld. JB Weld.
I tried, but whatever, you know, it's dirt in there, it's rubber. It didn't stick. So I put the duct tape around it to put it back
He's
on.
duct taped both of his shoes.
I put
Now,
duct tape on
Joe,
it, if I put
Okay.
duct tape on one shoe,
let's bring up a
I
witness.
felt like I should have put it on the other
Joe.
shoe so that way it looks uniform on both shoes.
Would you think Nike is a good company? Like overall, would you say like Nike, good quality, good company, right?
In
Okay.
fact, yeah.
So this is a man who says he plays once or twice a year.
A couple times a year.
Since
Scrambles.
2018, do those Nike shoes, golf shoes,
Is it
look
Nike?
like they've been used like 4 times?
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of golf are you playing?
I mean,
is this
I
like
don't know.
combat golf?
I don't know what happened.
Paintball. Were you doing paintball after your round?
I never thought that these shoes were on their last legs when I took the course in September. When I went out and played my round. But by the end of the
You know
round,
what they
I was,
may have? It's called soul rot because you've had them for 18 years and they don't ever get used. So they're rotted golf shoes.
Okay.
That's
So-
what you have.
But
Is there a way to Google like what year? Like we could probably figure it out, right?
Yeah, it's not 2018. Like that. There's no. Bud was being very nice.
He was.
I'm sure he's walking away going, "My goodness, can you not have better golf shoes than that?"
You might get a new pair of shoes out of this, though, Willie.
Wow, Willie.
Derek, Derek has
it's
no
a shake
words.
my
for
head.
this.
It's a shake my head.
This is unbelievable.
God, when they say you can use duct tape for anything, you can actually use it for anything.
I'm putting that to the test.
You're like MacGyver. He's just like
one of the voices of the DDC, the voice of the Predators on television.
Exactly.
Is out here at the Hermitage Golf Course representing Cromwell Media at an awesome event with golf shoes and duct tape around them on both of them.
Gosh. You making the Dawning name is just going downhill.
Like even Joe,
now,
like
man.
he's like, people are just dumbfounded by this.
Man, if your kids saw you now, man,
I admit it.
They'll just shake their head.
It's below standard. It's not.
And Brent Peterson is here.
It's not even a standard.
Like, Brent, can you help this poor soul out?
Oh, if it weren't for Brent, I would have nothing. I got my shorts, I got my shirts, I got all the gear. I look good because of him until this happened.
Gosh, what
the shoe breakdown.
Oh,
I really wish you didn't go get those because the show has been derailed. Oh, okay. Joe?
I took a picture. I sent it to Elijah. Hopefully he has tweeted it.
Have we put that out there? Yeah. I just want people to see.
Yeah, this is.
And I want the listeners to tell me, should I go out with the duct tape, proper footwear, or should I just wear my white and get by that way? What's better for the etiquette?
And why have golf shoes, right? I mean, they don't help me either.
They don't help my game. I'm not going to play any better
it's
either
what you
way.
have to do. Like, I get it. Like, mine don't either. But it's what you have to do.
Got to be a benefit.
Do you have to do it?
Our clubs don't help us our
Like
game
the
either,
spikes.
but we need them. We have to do them.
The soles on the shoe. What do they help you? Like, do you need traction on the golf course?
Do your golf gloves help you? No, but you wear
the
them.
golf gloves. The golf glove, your grip and everything.
Okay.
Blisters. Yeah. That serves a purpose.
Okay.
Especially for a guy that doesn't play that
All right,
much. I
fair
mean,
enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right.
And I do have a glove.
We'll come back. We'll try to recover.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's going to happen.
If anybody has
do that.
advice,
Thank
I'm
you,
all
Joe.
ears.
Thank
Just,
you for stopping by.
What should I do?
We'll come back. More DDC on the other side. It's just we're completely deflated here on ESPN 102.5 again.
Join Chase McCabe for Chasing Checkers every Sunday morning at 8 for all the news in the world of motorsports.
Joey Logano gets the very first victory in the next-gen car
while hearing from the big names.
Two-time champion Kyle Busch.
Being able to bring NASCAR, the Cup Series, back to Nashville is cool.
It's Chasing Checkers, presented by Apple Collision Centers and the Nashville Super Speedway
On ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Races, concerts, and one big party. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix returns to Nashville August 5th through 7th. For 3 days, the streets of downtown Nashville will come alive with the sounds of race cars, music, and cheering fans. 3-day tickets are on sale starting as low as $129. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix is a weekend full of entertainment that you don't want to miss, and tickets are going fast. Visit MusicCityGP.com to buy yours today.
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired a lounge singer to be their office receptionist.
Hello, this is Mickey Marquis, and you've reached the office of Doug & Associates. Thank you very much. Catch me Tuesday nights at the Hotel Johnson. Hello?
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Doug and Associates, this is Mickey Market. Hello?
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
And now it's Geico's Motorcycle Rules of the Road. Avoid biking in the rain and never touch another person's bike.
Hey guys, look at these bikes. So shiny. Whoops. I'm gonna leave a note. Oh gosh, there's more.
And the rule to saving on motorcycle insurance is, in 15 minutes, Geico could save you 15% or more.
Smokeville Smoke Shop has been serving Hendersonville and Metro Nashville since 2015 and is committed to providing high quality, hands-on, and personable customer service. Stop in the Smokeville Smoke Shops in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Hermitage, and Goodlettsville to try any of their wide selection of locally sourced products and selection of top nationwide brands including vapes, hookah, hand-blown glass, detox systems, e-juices, kratom products, leaf wraps, a dab bar at the Hendersonville location, and much more. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shops today.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics wants to thank their patients for voting them the #1 orthopedic practice in the Nashville Scene Poll for 3 years in a row. Their physicians specialize in spine, joint replacement, knee, hip, upper extremity, and other orthopedic conditions. At Houston Clinic Orthopedics, they adhere to all CDC guidelines for the patient's and staff safety. To experience world-class orthopedic care and see a list of all physicians, visit their website at tn.houston.com and book your appointment online today.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is David Poyle. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Big Machine Distillery wants to send you to the inaugural Tennessee Whiskey Trail experience. That'll be on International Tennessee Whiskey Day, May 21st, Nissan Stadium. Text the word whiskey right now. Whiskey, I could use some of that. 615-737-1025. That's to enter and try to get a pair of tickets to that event. So text in on our text line, whiskey. Speaking of our text line, we have in Twitter, we have tweeted out. And people are just weighing in. Mike in the borough says, get the jaws of life to pry open the wallet of Billy and have him get some new shoes. He goes, they sell them in the pro shop.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Wow.
I don't think Willie's going to ever get rid of those shoes. I don't think he will. I think he's
we know the duct tape will hold up. The duct tape will hold up. It's just a question of, do I really want to go out there in this situation?
Nate says it shows duct tape on golf shoes tells everyone that you're too cheap to buy a pair without knowing the whole story, which most around the course don't know the whole story. That's true, but we know if you see that look, there is a story.
Yeah.
It just screams, I am not a golfer, which is okay. I'm all right with that.
It screams
image.
a lot of things, actually.
It screams you don't want it unless you get another voucher. You're not buying
September.
anymore.
It screams, hey, I need a pro shop voucher.
You guys got a pair of 12s over there?
If you have not heard, Peter DeBoer is out as Vegas's head coach. The Golden Knights have moved on from Peter DeBoer. They did not make the playoffs for the first time in franchise history, so they will be looking for probably an experienced coach with a very experienced team. So a team that is built for success right now. So we'll see where they go with that. The New York Islanders have hired within. They have hired longtime assistant of Barry Trotz, Lane Lambert, as their next head coach. So you go from Barry Trotz to Lane Lambert. Yes, his voice is different than Barry's. I don't know how much different the voice is going to be in the room because I don't think Lane Lambert is going to deviate from Barry Trotz's system. Why would you? It's been very effective over the years. So, I don't know. Interesting move, but as you stated, Willie, earlier when we talked about it, that's just a Lou Lamoriello move. That's what he does. He's done this before. So, not that surprising.
Yeah, I think that number one, they're committed to their roster contractually. They don't have a lot of wiggle room, so I feel like he feels like I can't fire the team, I can't overhaul the team. I still think my team can be good next year, but I need something to change. So that's what he's done before, and it's been successful for him. Unfortunately for Barry Trotz, he's the one that's got to step aside, but Barry Trotz will be a real attractive guy, as will Peter DeBoer going forward here for job openings. And it remains to be seen if there's going to be any more job openings to come after the weekend, where you had some really tough series that went 6-7 games, and not everybody can win.
A lot of people are looking at the Bruins next, right? What are they going to do?
Yeah, and I think that guy, Bruce Cassidy's an excellent coach. But now you've got Patrice Bergeron, who has been their guy for a long, long time. Is he going to retire? He said what a lot of people say. I can't think about it right now. I need to wait, see how I feel in the coming months. But they need to know fairly soon so that they can play in their roster for next year. They're not awash in all kinds of salary cap space. That's going to be the thing for all of these teams that loaded up, traded for people at the deadline, spent to the cap. They've got difficult cap decisions to be made, and the answers aren't always easy. And like we've said last week, one of the best things the Predators have going for them going forward is that they do have a lot more cap flexibility than most teams. But what do you do with it? Still very difficult decisions, but they have the ability to do a lot of different things. There's a lot of teams that will have to find a way to shed payroll in order to gain. Let's take the Stars, who just lost in Game 7. Unfortunately for them, Rope Hintz was hurt, couldn't play last night. He's a guy that, as we know, very, very important. Yep. So Jake Ottinger, who played his tail off in that series, done with his entry-level contract. He made pennies. Now he's going to make a real salary.
Salary was less than $1 million. Under $1 million.
So now he's got to make real money. Jason Robertson, arguably their best player, just in his second year. He's done with his entry-level deal. He's going to get a big raise. So these are all things that are going to be very difficult for the Stars to deal with. Minnesota's got the same thing. They're paying almost $13 million for two guys that aren't on their roster next year, Zach Parise and Ryan Suter. So what do they do to try to stay on top? These are all difficult things for some of these teams whose season just ended, who had great regular seasons. I mean, great regular seasons.
Derek, we have a good suggestion on our text line.
Yes.
This is from Henry, and he's got a suggestion for Billy.
Okay.
He said, I have played the Hermitage Golf Course enough to know that someone in the past has gotten drunk enough to leave their shoes at the course. So have Billy check Lost and Found for some golf shoes.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you meant like check around the course, like near the sheep and stuff. To
no,
see
he's
if
saying
there's
lost
a pair of
and
shoes
found.
lying around.
No, lost and found.
Okay.
Going lost and found.
And just say, hey, those are mine.
Hey,
found a pair of 13s.
I mean, how do you really dispute that? If you say, right, those are mine. Like, I don't think they make you show a picture of you in those shoes.
Okay.
Right?
We'll get you a pair, Willie. We'll get you
I might have to hit the pro shop. I mean, just, just see if they got any in there.
Well, they have them. I can tell you they do.
My size, you think?
A 12 is pretty.
Okay.
That's
pretty common size.
Common size.
Yeah. This next break, I'll go into the pro shop and see what we got.
Do you need to get the crowbar first?
To get the crowbar
out of the trunk of the car?
While you open that wallet.
The 4. What was it? The 4 What was the suggestion? The
jaws of life.
The wrench? No, the four-way wrench or whatever.
The four-way wrench.
You need to get the four-way wrench?
I need that anyway.
For your wallet?
As we just learned last Friday.
All right.
For the swollen lug nuts.
Tell everybody about Loan Pronto.
All right. Loan Pronto, they have got the formula for financial success. You know right now that if you're looking to buy a home, it's very difficult right now. There's not a lot of inventory, and what's out there, it is a seller's market big time. So that's a tough thing. Also, you might have, for one reason or another, some credit card bills or high-interest loans that also are a burden. Either way, Loan Pronto can help you with your financial plan with a refi of your current home, with either the home improvement refi or the debt consolidation refi. Both of them are very, very beneficial to you financially. It's something you may not have thought of. Use the equity in your home in order to wipe out the credit card payments or the other high-interest loans. All you got to do is call Loan Pronto right now at 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. So ask about either the debt consolidation fast and easy refi or the home improvement refi. And so you can give your home a makeover, or you can get out of those credit card bills or other high-interest loans that are shouldering you with some payments you don't like. So now you can get that APR down into the threes and go to work and be in a better financial position. It's loanpronto.com or 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
If you're on the road between downtown Nashville,
they're still in good shape to make the playoffs,
and I-840,
players make it clear they don't want to be somewhere anymore.
There's a new way to hear all your favorite shows and sports programming on 102.5 The Game.
I go back to that play and I shake my head. What I was worried about is that they were still just going to keep the goal.
It's 106.3 FM.
Think about all the good Titans teams. This is very much so a run-first offense.
Now you have two choices to hear Nashville's best sports talk. Check out 106.3 now and add it as a favorite.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center,
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Sunny, a little bit less humid, and cooler this afternoon. Highs upper 70s and lower 80s, but we make another run at the 90s in the second half of the week.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Attention, buckaroos. It's time for the Franklin Rodeo, so saddle up and hold on to your lasso. It's 3 days of bull riding, calf roping, western wear, funny clowns, and some of the most talented horses you've ever seen. Join the Stampede this weekend. The Franklin Rodeo is held at the Williamson County Ag Expo Park and is brought to you by Franklin Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, Williamson Medical Center, Wesley Mortgage, and Event 1FX. Tickets on sale now at franklinrodeo.com. It's a buckin' good time.
Don't go through another summer with that awful joint pain. Call QC Kinetics now. Willie Donick here. That pain in your back, your knees, your shoulder, it can now be treated with the latest in precision medicine using natural biologic growth factors that can restore and repair damaged tissue. Really exciting stuff. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, giving you access right here to this modern-day joint pain solution. You can get lasting joint pain relief with no drugs, no steroids, no downtime, and no surgery. You may have heard Emmett Smith raving about QC Kinetics. You've read or seen other high-profile people talking about it. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics can help you get your life back. So take action now. Get a free consultation. Powerful, effective joint pain treatments with natural biologics are here. So call QC Kinetics now. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
Inside knowledge on the Titans.
Todd Downey's got his notepad out right now, just writing things down.
Inside knowledge on the Predators.
They can go right into the forecheck, and boom, you get a beautiful goal from Colton Sissons.
And then there's a team in Knoxville.
How excited should Tennessee fans be by what they've seen from Josh Heupel in year one?
Wake up and hang out with Robby and Rexrode. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
On the DDC national anthem here at the Hermitage Golf Course as they're getting ready to let everybody hit the course. Of course, Whitney Houston rendition. Well done. Well done.
I started to sing it.
Yeah?
Yeah. But I decided, not to.
Nice line by the suit. He just said, hope you enjoyed that. Sorry, we couldn't have the flyover. We couldn't afford the flyover. Well done.
Hey, man, suit just got a raise. She should have got the flyover, man.
So take us through. We were talking earlier with TD. And, of course, as we said, oh, wait a minute.
Well, breaking news here.
Looks like
breaking news.
Billy has broken down and bought new shoes.
Yes.
Had to do it. Had to do it.
Billy has new shoes. Or did he just get a box? And
I got a box.
Shoes?
Nice.
Oh,
these appear
nice.
to be shoes that will hold together for this round.
Very nice. Well done.
That tells me Billy just walked in and the first pair of shoes he saw, he picked up.
But he did good.
Those
are good.
No, I asked. I said, give me the economy size. Do you have a 12? We just had to go with what was there. Quick decision.
Yeah, you wanted coach. You're not looking for first class.
Exactly.
You want a coach.
Yeah.
Straight up coach.
Yeah.
All the way in
And
the back.
any discounts
General
that were
admission,
there were none. But
David tweeted at us and said, by the way, hockey tape is also very versatile.
it is. I wish I had some.
You could have used hockey tape.
Could have used duct tape, hockey
But
tape.
would that have lessened
Gorilla Glue,
the
Gorilla
ridicule?
Tape?
Any kind of tape.
No, not
it
really.
wouldn't lessen the ridicule.
Not really.
But now we can retire the duct tape shoes.
Willie, I
so
know
we can move
you.
forward.
Known you long enough, Willie, you're not going to throw those shoes away. You're going to keep them.
You think I'm going to keep them?
Oh, yeah, you're going to keep those shoes, Willie.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I did ask you if you had like a high-tech glue, that might be able to glue the sole back on. Because I really felt like they were in good shape, except for that.
Well, they are,
sole.
except the duct tape.
Well, yeah.
And the sole.
The sole. It went on me.
I did read this morning, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, that the mayor has said they are getting very, very close, very, very close to a final proposal for the new stadium.
Proposal, renderings, everything?
That's what it sounds like.
Well.
Which is, according to this, has been in the works for a long time. I mean, they've started this a year and a half ago. So
does it still mean that it will be done in 2026?
Well, I think there's no doubt. That's why this is moving along. That's what they have to do. I mean, that has to happen. So
for the World Cup purposes, that's a big timetable. That's the
but
important
are
part
they
of that.
still in the running for the World Cup?
Well, that's what we don't know. But I feel like letting everybody know, including the people in the World Cup, that this stadium will be in use. That could help them.
But the World Cup can't bank on that, just in case you have some setbacks. So I think who did we have on? I think a month and a half ago, we were talking about the World Cup and
Butch Spearden.
It might have been Butch.
Yeah.
And I think one of us did ask him about are we in the running for a World Cup? And I think he it wasn't a definite yes because the World Cup needs to know.
Yeah, there's optimism.
Exactly.
But one way or the other, I think they've promised the World Cup that if it's at the existing stadium, there will be upgrades by 2026. But if you could come back to them and say, hey, we're going to have a brand new facility, that might
So if not
sway
2026,
somebody.
it would be what? 2020 what?
Yeah, well, the World Cup is 2026, so it's either ready or it's not by then, because the World Cup is going to happen that year, and it's going to happen in the States. It's just a matter of whether Nashville can get the gig. But, of course, you got to think beyond that. When you build a facility like this, you're thinking about other things as well.
Yeah, you're not just thinking about that one event, even though it would be great to have the World Cup in 2026.
Now, this is one thing. If we're going to have a roof and it's not retractable, is the World Cup okay with that? Because the World Cup has always been outdoor games, right? I can't recall World Cup.
Well, I thought the last time we had this discussion,
the Silverdome did have games. Okay,
Yeah.
but generally speaking, there's not a whole lot of games with a roof on them, right?
But if there's enough light generated inside of natural light.
Oh yeah, it's not a question of that.
Yeah,
It's just I think the tradition.
Okay.
Of it, in a perfect world, like they generally play on grass, right? Not on the turf.
Yeah. I mean,
for World Cup games,
it can be done. It's just, will they be done in 2026 in time?
Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts there.
Yeah, so
I mean, we may be getting close to maybe, seeing exactly how this is going to work. What it's going to, the whole thing.
So those renderings, there's nothing more than what we saw a couple of weeks ago, where they just showed you like that.
Well, they said that's
backside.
not. They didn't say that was.
Is that a rendering?
Yeah, but they didn't say that was permanent. They just said this
Yeah.
is just basically something for you to look at. They didn't say this is the final rendering. So, all right, that'll do it for hour number 3. Come back. The suit is in the house. And evidently, Joe Rexrode are going to take you home in the final hour. They're going to do that next. Here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
From elegant to contemporary, Social Furniture has it all. And right now, get no interest financing on any purchase through Memorial Day. Save hundreds, even thousands on top brand name bedroom suites, living room and dining sets. Thousands of combinations in stock, ready for immediate delivery. All colors and styles are designer brand names, such as Woodhouse, Sealy, Serta, Kincaid, Bernhardt, Stearns & Foster, and Bassett. Shop local, shop social. Social Furniture opens 7 days a week on the west side, on Charlotte Avenue in the Richland Creek Shopping Center.
I come from a military family.
That's Stasha at Genesis Diamonds talking about the Hero Rewards program at Genesis, providing special discounts every day for heroes in uniform.
Whatever their budget is, we're going to make sure it stretches the best for them and that they will get the most beautiful ring at the best value.
Special hero pricing on any item extends to all military plus police, fire, and first responders.
They make us have the great life we have, and we are eternally grateful for that.
Genesis Hero Rewards program and free services is yours for life, no matter where you move.
Travel anywhere in the world, we're one phone call away. So no matter where you're stationed, if you're military or if you're a police officer and you go to another state, we're going to take good care of you.
Of course, it doesn't hurt that Genesis owner Boaz Ramon is himself a veteran of the Israeli Army.
Boaz, having served in the military, appreciates the military and what they do for us.
Genesis Diamonds, where our heroes in uniform get red carpet pricing and white glove treatment every day of the year.
Because they're there for us.
Genesis Diamonds and pre-owned Rolexes, continuously voted best jewelry store and best place to buy an engagement ring. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
The Ainsworth Nashville has been bringing a sophisticated twist to the classic All-American Sports Bar, restaurant, and private event experience in Midtown since 2018. Our multi-purpose venue consists of a full-scale restaurant, bar and lounge, and event space. Come for the wings, stay for our happy hour, and visit us for brunch on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We've got the good times to keep you singing all night long. The Ainsworth Nashville. Burgers, cocktails, sports.
Visit the Ainsworth at 206 21st Avenue South in Nashville or online at theainsworth.com.
Introducing the first Nashville location of Mayweather Boxing and Fitness in Midtown. Perfect for all fitness levels. Join a community that will help every person unleash their inner champ with fun, effective, and empowering group boxing circuit workouts. Become a founding member today. Stop by the brand new studio in Midtown at 2041 Broadway, Suite C, or call 629-206-9092 to join the family exclusive. Pre-opening rates now available. Mayweather Boxing and Fitness, the gold standard in boxing fitness. Folds of Honor provides educational scholarships to the families of military men and women who have fallen or been disabled while on active duty in the United States Armed Forces. Since 2007, Folds of Honor has awarded nearly 29,000 educational scholarships. Help families of soldiers who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Join the Game Nashville for a day of online and on-air giving today. Text keyword DONATE to 615-737-1025.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Today we are benefiting Folds of Honor all day with the Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament.
Text DONATE to 615-737-1025 to benefit Folds of Honor, Tennessee.
ESPN 1025 and 1063 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Informative conversation while you work. This is the DDC, presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 and 1063 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
1 o'clock hour of the DDC, ESPN 1025 and 1063 The Game. Chase McCabe and Joe Rexrode, one half of Robby and Rexrode, hanging out here at the beautiful Hermitage Golf Course. Elijah Campbell is back at the Hillside Medical Games Studios, and we're going to take it home for you as we have sent Darren on a torn ACL, Willie with duct tape shoes, and D-Mace, who has all the swag in the world, out to the golf course as the inaugural Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament benefiting Folds of Honor is underway. And Joe, this is cool. You've been out here for a little bit. You're not a golfer. I'm not really a golfer, so we'll just sit here and talk about it for a while.
Yeah, but I do appreciate a very nice golf course. I used to work at a golf course, and this is a very, very nice golf course and a great event and a great cause. And with D-Mace, peanut M&Ms. That's like John Daly on the golf course, man. And Willie bought new shoes.
Oh, he did. Okay, I missed that.
You didn't see the new shoes.
No.
He just went to the pro shop, bought new shoes.
That's good. That's a boss move. That's good. And it's – I think he got guilted into it because we were all pretty much like, Willie, you can't play in those. Like, they brought up George Plaster. George would have never let him play in those. So, I mean, yeah. And as the suit,
check them out. You can see them from here, see?
Okay. Oh, yeah, those are good. Those are good. But we got a good group of people here, and appreciate everybody that bought teams to help Folds of Honor. And we got several celebrities. Chris Sanders, former Titans wide receivers, out here. Obviously, D-Mace is here. Morgan Cox, Titans long snapper, is out here. Jill Jelnick of Fox 17 is out here. We got Yellow Wolf and Jelly Roll that are here.
Yeah.
Hanging out. So a lot of athletes and just other famous people. And then you and I and Ladarius. We're here.
We're famous.
Ish.
Yeah, we're famous. We're famous-ish.
Famous-ish. But anyway, you can text 615-737-1025 and just text donate, and that's how you can get the link to donate to Folds of Honor to help this great cause. Now we'll bring in Elijah Campbell because, Joe, you and Elijah, I know, were both out at Titans rookie minicamp this weekend, and the guys have been talking about it. I just want to give my two thoughts real quick thoughts on Traylon Burks. I'm not worried. It's 2 days. We know allergies. We know the heat. It's the first 2 days of rookie training camp. I'm not worried at all, and I know everybody's going to make it a story, and it is to an extent a little bit of one, but I don't really let that concern me.
No, I agree. I mean, look, he was back out there, and that's the encouraging thing is he was back out there Saturday. He was there through the whole thing. They did limit his reps, so, they're being cautious. If it's some kind of medical condition or something, that's one thing. But if that were the case, I don't think he would have been out there Saturday at all. So it's one of those things that because of the situation he's in, which is instantly, are you ready to be a 1,000-yard receiver? Like right away, snap the fingers because
Right.
You're replacing A.J. Brown. There's already going to be this accelerated timeline put on him. And then you have the first practice and you have to leave. And so it's a lot more is made of it just because of who he is and the position he's in. But no, I don't think there's any big reason for concern here.
Elijah, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, he still looked fine. I was there on Saturday, and he still looked fine. I mean, dropped one pass, but, I mean, yeah, it's a tough adjustment. But I think the biggest takeaway is how impressive some of the other pass-catching guys that were in there. I like Reggie Robertson a lot. I know Joe and I talked about that a little bit. Chris Sanders really likes him a lot. And Kyle Phillips as well. Those guys have acclimated pretty well in those 2 days of practices. But Treylon Burks, like if I am a Titans fan, my concern level should be no more than a 3 for him. It's just unfair for him because of the expectations set. Like anytime you're going to be the guy that is I don't want to say replacement for A.J. Brown, but he's always going to be compared to A.J. Brown because of the circumstances in which he was drafted. That alone is the reason I feel like this has gotten any traction, but I wouldn't be worried at all. I'm with you guys on that.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Whether it's fair or unfair, he is the replacement for A.J. Brown. I mean, that's what he is because of the circumstance. And, you know, I believe, and I think others believe, that there's a chance he would have been there at 26 and maybe, or they could have traded up, you know, and worked out a deal to get him anyway, even if A.J. Brown had stayed. I think he could have been a compliment to A.J. Brown and Robert Woods. But like it or not, trading A.J. Brown away, getting that pick at 18, and then taking Treylon Burks, he is the replacement for A.J. Brown. And, you know, I think, I know we didn't talk at rookie camp, but I know his opening press conference when he was introduced, you know, he kind of ran with that and took it and owned it and knew that was going to be a part of it. But that's just kind of where it is right now. And so I know why people have made a big deal out of him not being able to finish practice. But, again, it's 2 days, rookie camp. You know, I'm sure there were a lot of nerves involved too. Let's see what he does moving forward, and then we can pass judgment on that.
Right. I mean, everything's going to be magnified with him. I mean, if in the opener he has 3 catches for 17 yards, that's a big deal. You know,
yeah.
Even though if you go back through A.J. Brown's rookie year, he had plenty of days like that. You know, especially in the first half of the season before he had the big play in the opener, and you know he kind of had to find his way. But it's just a different situation now. So it's just everything's going to be magnified. It's a tough spot. He got put in a tough. I mean, no one's going to feel bad for someone who's drafted number 18, you know, in a drafted and gets to go to a winning team. But because of the trade, you know, he would have loved to have been mentored by A.J. Brown. There's that word, mentor again. And instead he's got to replace him. And I agree, by the way, with Elijah Robertson, definitely. You notice him. He's going to be one of those camp
So is he
guys.
the camp darling already?
I think there's a good chance. Remember last year at the receiver position, you had Chester Rogers, you had Mason Kinsey, but I mean, especially with the ones, you had Chester Rogers, you had Marcus Johnson laid up. Kinsey in the preseason game, you know, in the second half of a preseason game was great, and people were like, "Oh, Mason Kinsey," but like those guys in camp looked like guys who were going to really matter, and Rogers did. Johnson, I think, would have. Is Robertson good enough to threaten the playing rotation? I don't know. That's going to be interesting, but certainly in the rookie minicap setting, he stood out.
Okay, well, right now, and both of you weigh in on this. You know, we always play the game. Are they going to carry 5 or 6, or even 7? You know, if you have some special teams guys that can help you there, like going into camp, who would be penciled in as your receivers that the Titans are carrying?
Yeah, so obviously, you know your top. Well, I mean, the 3 I know for sure, which is Woods, Burks, and Westbrook-Akina.
Yep.
And then, you know, I mean, I would give. Well, look, I think right now I would put Kyle Phillips in there.
I think they'd like him to be.
Yeah, and I think the quick feet are on display. I think he serves. You know, he fits a specific role that I think he can probably play better than Kinsey. You know, we'll see. Hey, Kinsey's out there, and he's battling too. But you got to remember where Kinsey still was in the pecking order last year. You know, he's a heck of a story out of Berry College, but I would put Phillips there ahead of him. I mean, I would probably say Des Fitzpatrick, but it's just a big, you know, that's a big thing. It's with Fitzpatrick, with Dylan Radins, with a lot these second-year guys. You expect a big jump. But we'll see.
Yeah.
McMath, I mean, I think it's a special
Cody
teams
Hollister
guy.
has hung around here for like 3 years, too.
He's one of those guys who hangs around on the fringe. But then what about Cam Batson?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Cam Batson gets hurt.
They love him.
But when he's able to play, yeah. I mean,
when was the last time he actually played?
Well, he got hurt Did he get hurt in the Jets game last year? It was very early, right?
Well, hang on, Joe. Is he even
He
on
got hurt
the
in
team?
training camp, didn't he? I thought he got hurt in training camp.
He did, but then he came back. Did Cam Bassey get signed elsewhere? If so, I totally missed that. Yeah.
I guess
so
he's
a
listed as a free
right
agent. Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe they've decided to move on from him. That's possible. If he's out there, I'd be shocked if he wasn't. If they didn't sign him to be one of the 90. But maybe the injuries have also diminished him to a certain point. That would make him a bit of a long shot. I mean, you're always trying to go younger and healthier in this league.
Well, and you got. I mean, do you really want 2 receivers coming off a torn ACL? Or that's
the team's DNA. Love it.
Yeah,
true.
It depends on who you are. If you are John Robinson, you're just rubbing your hands
true.
together. How many ACLs can we get?
He's hurt. Sign him. Bring him in.
But yeah, I mean, I think McMath. I mean, I would probably go McMath and Fitzpatrick after those 4.
Yeah,
and like Kinsey, practice squad guy. But that would probably be my guess. And that's,
Josh Malone's not doing it for you. VFL.
Josh Malone was a pretty good player at Tennessee.
He was.
Here's the thing. He could just absolutely be great in camp. I mean, nobody going into camp last year was penciling Chester Rogers or Marcus Johnson, and certainly not Marcus Johnson. And he was like the best player in camp. Best receiver in camp who participated the whole time.
Elijah, before you answer this question, I'll say this. I think there is a receiver that's going to be on the opening day roster that's currently not on this roster.
I could totally buy that.
Because I think that they're either – I've been saying Cole Beasley. I know they want Kyle Phillips, and that's – let's see what happens there. But the guy's like a 5th-round pick. Cole Beasley's a veteran in this league that can play the slot.
Yeah, but it's still more costly. You know what I mean?
I get that. But I think that a veteran wide receiver that is either out there right now or will be cut by another team gets picked up and is on the opening day roster.
That wouldn't be shocking. That wouldn't be. A lot of that will be answered to me by Fitzpatrick and McMath.
True. Yeah. How they do in camp.
If they're feeling good about those guys, like they can actually come in. Dez was forced into action last year, had ups and had downs. I still think he's got potential to be a pretty good, back half of a receiver room receiver. But yeah, you may be right. Because the thing is, think about if Burks is, this also depends on Burks. Is he going to be ready?
Yeah.
And then is Woods healthy? I mean, if you're sitting there that basically like you're one going into the opener is Westbrook-Akina, don't you need another veteran?
Absolutely.
Right away?
Absolutely.
You probably do.
Elijah, real quick, what do you think?
Oh, I kind of like that. Just because, you don't have as much proven. Like, anything after Westbrook-Akina, it can get a little shaky just because not a lot of guys are proven. I mean, we just spent time talking about Mason Kinsey maybe being on the roster, and not a lot of experience there at all. And so that's honestly the experience part would be the biggest intrigue with Beasley. Honestly, I think I would fork up the money to be able to get him just for a year. You can get out after a year. And because of his playing style, too, it's risky because he is more often injured because he's a little smaller, high-volume pass catcher. So he's going to get hit a lot. So I guess that's the biggest risk, too. You don't want to pay too much for 1 year because you can only get 6 games out of him. But at this point, because of the lack of experience with the wide receiving roster you have right now, it wouldn't be the worst risk to take.
Coming up next, Joe mentioned it, that mentor word. Obviously, that was addressed over the weekend by Malik Willis. We'll discuss that coming up next as you listen to the DDC. We're live at the Hermitage Golf Course for the inaugural Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament, benefiting Folds of Honor on ESPN and 106.3 The Game.
Meshing journalism.
They are 2 scores behind you. The math says that increases your chances of winning.
With sports fandom.
I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning, just emotionally numb from Titans and Packers.
And sarcasm.
You guys are the worst.
Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robby and Rexrode. No duh. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
Harness LLC needs 5 foremen to join our team. Go to selectharness.com now if you're a foreman with 3 years experience in excavation. Invest in a company who's going to invest in you. Selectharness.com. Harness LLC. Build people, move dirt.
Empire Auto Parts has opened a brand new location in Nashville, Tennessee. They're hosting a hiring event with giveaways, sign-on bonuses, and more, happening at Holiday Inn Express at the Crossings, 201 Crossings Place, May 16th through 20th, from 9 a.m. to noon or 2 to 5. Empire Auto Parts offers hourly pay, full benefits, 401k matching, and more. Current job openings for warehouse associate, delivery drivers, customer service agents, account managers, and dispatchers. Apply now on Indeed at Empire Auto Parts Inc. Jobs or visit their website at empireautoparts.com.
This is your Racing Report with Chase McCabe.
This report presented by the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Join us for the Triple 50 Saturday, June 4th. The Pro Late Models, Modifieds Tour, and the Super Trucks. Get your tickets at NashvilleFairgroundsSpeedway.racing. Kurt Busch led 116 laps en route to his first win of the season at the Kansas Speedway on Sunday. It was also his first win in the number 45 at 2311 Racing and the second overall win for the Denny Hamlin Michael Jordan co-owned team. Busch has now won with 5 different organizations in 4 different manufacturers in his career. But he said it's a process this year to build a new team.
It's a process. You have to start from the ground up when you're building a brand new car. You know, the Toyota family brought me in. Monster Energy said, let's go do this. And you have steps that you have to take.
Next up, the series heads to Texas for the All-Star race. I'm Chase McCabe.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway. Now here's Jim Mitchell.
At Mitchell's Mr. Transmission, we also offer free towing with any major repairs. If your vehicle has a breakdown and you should need any type towing is available through Dad's Towing Service. Dad's is a professional towing company in Nashville that provides all types towing and recovery, 24 hours a day.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway.
Hey Nashville, it's Chase McCabe, Program Director of ESPN 102.5 The Game, and there's a new way that you can hear Nashville's best sports talk. It's on 106.3 FM. From downtown Nashville to Spring Hill on I-65 and to Murfreesboro on I-24, you now have 2 choices to hear our great sports talk programming. And, of course, the Nashville Predators. Check out 106.3 now and save it as a preset.
Why choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because our Sleep Number 360 smart bed is really smart. It senses your movement and automatically adjusts to help keep you both comfortable. Plus, it's temperature balancing so you stay cool. It's even smart enough to know exactly how long, how well, and when you slept, and to help you get almost 30 minutes more restful sleep per night. Sleep Number takes care of the science. All you have to do is sleep. Save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed Queen now only $19.99, plus free premium home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Hey, Preds fans.
Running across to make the save is Sarah.
You can now hear Nashville's best sports talk.
The backhander, he scores!
And every Predators game on 106.3 FM.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty.
From downtown Nashville to Rutherford and Williamson counties.
Duchesne with the overtime winner.
Catch all the action on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
His comment about not his job to mentor.
Oh, I thought Ryan handled that very well. I thought he was genuine. I thought he was authentic, and I know Ryan is a great teammate. Everybody here knows he's a great teammate, and that is not his job. His job is to prepare to help us win a bunch of games, and be a great teammate and help out. And I know that he's going to do that. So that was not any sort of issue for me.
There you go, head coach Mike Vrabel squashing the whole mentor gate with Ryan Tannehill and Malik Willis. Welcome back to the DDC live at the Hermitage Golf Course for the inaugural Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament benefiting Folds of Honor. Chase McCabe, Joe Rexrode out here. Elijah Campbell is back at the studio. And I'm going to say this, guys. I don't always agree with Mike Vrabel. I think anybody in media is not always going to agree with the head coach or the general manager on things that they do or they don't do. But I do agree with him here because I was maybe one of the few that said it. Now, I wouldn't have used the words that Tannehill used, but I think that Mike was right, that he was authentic and he was honest. And he basically squashed all this and said, I have my quarterbacks back. I have both of them, but Ryan Tannehill's our guy. He's here to win us football games. And I agree with what Mike Vrabel did because he didn't have to address it at all. He could have, especially, as you know, Joe, you're at these press conferences, and nothing against Paul, but sometimes Paul may ask the right question and Vrabel just dismisses it because of whatever reason. But I thought he gave a great answer on it, and he took the right stance. And to me, it's now a dead issue.
Yeah, look, it's been interesting watching the reactions. I think the biggest – I mean, I admitted this up front. Like, it totally went over my head when he said it did not register with me as some big deal. There are headlines shortly after telling me, wow, you really missed this. It actually kind of was a big deal. But, again, a lot of people took that sentence, isolated it, took it out of the whole paragraph, what he said, and made a bigger deal of it. But some of the reaction to this from elsewhere has been very surprising to me. People are taking this and running with it. And I think – looking at it, and maybe in a lot of cases not actually listening to the whole thing and thinking that Tannehill was basically like, this is not my job, get Malik Willis out of here. You know, like it wasn't that at all. I think just the actual wording could have been better, or it didn't really even have to go there.
Yeah.
I mean, Jared's question wasn't actually asking him if he was going to be his mentor, right?
No, it was basically he worded it of, you know, what's the relationship like with somebody that's trying to take your job?
Yeah, which, by the way, that's not really in effect this year anyway. But down the road at some point, that's the idea. Yeah, I would think that this would just about end it. I would hope. I mean, I think around here, for people who pay close attention to this team, saw the presser or heard it, have read the whole quote or whatever by now. I mean, I think if you're upset about that still, then I think you just want to be upset at Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah,
and some people do.
But Mike Vrabel did something that he doesn't always do. Sometimes he lets things like this linger and he doesn't address it. You know, like titles. We all remember that. Like, he didn't want to put a title on his defensive coordinator, and so it lingered and those questions kept coming up. He got right in front of this. He addressed it. And now if I'm him, if it comes up again, then he has every right to be pissed off and say, you know, no, like, just not next question, because he has addressed it, and I think he addressed it appropriately.
Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling it's going to come up again, and I think what you laid out is a very predictable pattern that he is going to get really mad about having to talk about it, especially if Malik Willis starts looking really good in camp here in a few months. But I don't know. It's I think the biggest thing is in terms of like telling me that it's squashed was like what Malik Willis said about the entire relationship dynamic. Like, that's who I wanted to hear from most, if I were to have really cared about the Tannehill comment to begin with, where it's not his job, because the first thought would have been, well, how does that make Malik Willis feel? Will that make him feel isolated when he comes to camp? And I think Malik Willis did a really good job of squashing that as well.
I think he did too, and I believe we have that, because I thought that, and he knew, you know, and I'm sure that he was prepped on it and knew that question was going to come up, but I thought Malik Willis handled himself perfectly.
What comment?
Ryan Tannehill, okay.
Man.
What, did you take anything from that, or anything of significance, or what are your thoughts?
Oh man, we chopped it up. I mean, it was never anything negative. Ryan's a good dude, and he had us, like I said, he had us over the house. Everything's cool, man.
See, everything's cool.
See, what this is, it becomes this like obligatory, like everyone has to answer for this. So Malik Willis got asked, okay, he has now addressed it. Vrabel got asked, he has now addressed it. Now there is still Tannehill being asked again about what he said the last time he talked, and I guess.
Do you think that's necessary though? And I mean, you're there, you're asking these tough questions. So I mean, you tell me, but do you think that's necessary now that the head coach and the guy that he was talking about have addressed it, and it's not a big deal to them? Does he need to address it again?
Yes. I do think so. And here's what I want to hear is I'd like to get his honest reaction to the reaction. Now, You may not get that, but it's worth a try. Because the thing about Tannehill is, now I have no idea how much or how little he pays attention to anything, okay? But you have to go so far out of your way now to not understand when people are going nuts about something you said or did, right?
Right.
And even if you do a good job of isolating yourself, people close to you, like, it's inevitable that you're going to know what's going on. And I would be very interested, one, to hear if he regrets the phrasing, or if maybe he feels like he was misunderstood, or if he wants to elaborate on it. But also, what do you think of the fact that people are watching a Grizzlies-Warriors game and frickin' Jeff Van Gundy's just like, this Ryan Tannehill talk about not being a mentor. What? I mean, like that. I mean, this went nuts. So no, I understand. Like some people are going to be like, oh, don't. How could you ask it? No, I do think that a discussion about this with him is worthwhile. Here's where. See, when you're in the locker room, now I understand the quarterbacks a lot of times get isolated to press conference situations anyway. But see, when you have open locker room, what you can do is you can go up and just kind of BS with somebody and talk about this.
Yeah.
And kind of have a real conversation about, like, yeah, that was crazy, right? It's obviously different in a press conference setting, but if that's all you've got, I do think it's worth a question.
I got in trouble when I first started because I didn't know that about the quarterbacks, and I just wandered over and started talking to Matt Hasselbeck, and and Robby came over and was like, hey, no, they're off limits today. I'm like, oh.
But by the way, they're still allowed to talk if they're okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, we chopped it up, as Malik Willis said. I mean, that's what we were doing. But listen, he's going to get asked about it again. I get it, and your points are valid. But what happens with stories like this, especially, and let's keep this in mind, everybody in this market, whether you admit it or not, has Ryan Tannehill in your crosshairs because he threw 3 interceptions in the playoff game. He didn't show up to the first day of OTAs or voluntary workouts, whatever they are. And he had the picture of him on the fishing boat. And so optics with him are not great right now. And so people are looking for reasons to find something wrong that he does. So no matter how he answers this, he could go, hey, you know what? I probably could have used better words, but I appreciate Malik being a pro, and I appreciate Coach for having my back, and we're cool. Everything's great. And somebody will find something wrong with it. I mean, it doesn't matter how he answers it. It's just going to continue to have layers. And so that's why I'm just kind of like, let's find something else to complain about with him.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, and you're absolutely right that there's some people who have it out for him. I mean, honestly, personally, at this point, I think it's gone way overboard, and I think people have lost sight of a lot of what he's done. And, I mean, shoot, again, go back to 2019. I mean, I'm not sure we have the same coach and GM in this town if he doesn't turn that season around.
I agree.
So, but I agree there's a lot of people who are going to look for anything. But let me ask you this. At that press conference, which I'll go back to my tweet right after it was over. I was like, that was so impressive. If you took that one phrase out of that press conference, would people have found something else, or do you think it actually would have gone over pretty well?
Out of Tannehill?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think people would have still found something because –
I mean, some people are going to be mad about him saying that he had go see a therapist. But to me, I mean, I was really impressed that he opened up like that.
Do you think the guy that's coming on in 30 minutes would have, just been fine with it? He would have found something with
it. But correct me. Well, but I thought –
Jared defended. I'll give –
But Jared wasn't down on him on this part, right?
No.
On this thing.
No, Jared was on his side.
And
I am too. I'm defending him too. He's not here to be the mentor. He's not. And I know Derek and I disagree on that. And Derek played in the league, but it's not his job. His job is to focus on playing quarterback. And, if they're in the quarterback room and they're going over stuff and Tannehill notices something and he wants to say something, great. That's fine. And I'm sure that's going to happen. But he's, I think we get too caught up in the Brett Favre was supposed to mentor Aaron Rodgers and, Romo was supposed to mentor Dak or whatever. I mean, it's not how it's a competition. At the end of the day, it's a competition.
You got to be a good teammate.
Sure.
If you're a good teammate, then that's enough. I mean, the actual mentoring and the nitty-gritty, really spending that extra time with the guy, that's a coach's job. But it's just the way he said it. I think most of the criticisms of Tannehill since that game are valid, though, because I didn't like his presser after, and I really didn't like that he didn't show up at cleanout day.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown, only guy on the offense who talks, and he has to sit there and answer for Tannehill. So I think all those criticisms, those were valid. But, yes, there are people who are going to try to find every little thing, and this was low-hanging fruit for them.
Coming up next, I want to get yours and Elijah's evaluation of some of the other rookies that we haven't talked about yet from Titans rookie camp. But we're out here at the Hermitage Golf Course for the inaugural Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament benefiting Folds of Honor. I just got an update, guys. What we've done so far today, $7,240, which is fantastic so far. Again, you can text 615-737-1025. Text donate to 615-737-1025, and it will give you a link on how you can donate to Folds of Honor, which is a tremendous charity. We'll come back with more on ESPN 102.5 and 106.3, The Game.
The college football season never stops. ESPN college football analyst Trevor Manich joins Stillman and Company every Tuesday at 4:30.
They've got to do what Nick Saban in Alabama has done so successfully over the last 10 years.
Presented by Houston Clinic on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Realizing Geico has over 85 years of experience saving folks money and providing great customer service is like realizing there's a crumb tray on the bottom of your toaster, and you don't have to keep turning the toaster upside down to clean it.
How long has that been there? Hey, who needs some croutons?
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or realizing that baby carrots are just regular carrots that have been shaved down.
I don't care. They're still cute.
It's something you can't believe you never realized before. Like how Geico's 97% customer satisfaction rating means Geico is committed to providing the best service for their customers. Or how you can peel the top layer of tape off a lint roller and there's a fresh layer underneath.
Marcy, wait till you hear about the lint roller.
You mean how the handle is reusable?
Wait, what?
Trust. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Trying to find a new home right now is next to impossible. Very little inventory, prices are crazy high, rates are moving up. Here's a better idea. Let my friends at Loan Pronto refinance your current home, turn all that equity you have into cash, and totally transform your house. A new kitchen, new bathroom, a pool. Think about it. Your home value is up. Instead of wasting all that on an overpriced new house, convert that equity into cash for a home makeover. One local couple did it and got $200,000 out. They added new hardwoods, an outdoor living space, a swimming pool with spa and all new cabinets and appliances, plus a home office. Now they have their dream home, and they never had to move. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their home improvement refi. Give your home a total makeover and do it now. You can even skip your next house payment in the process. Call now, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Rick Stockstill, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Back here, ESPN 102.5 and 106.3 The Game at Hermitage Golf Course. It is the inaugural Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament benefiting Folds of Honor. Again, text donate to 615-737-1025 to benefit Folds of Honor. Chase McCabe, Joe Rexrode, Elijah Campbell hanging out with you. Stillman and Company featuring Caroline Fenton coming up just in a few minutes. Jared is wandering around and probably talking to somebody because he does that on occasion.
He's he's being a social butterfly.
You know it.
The belle of the ball, Jared Stillman.
So I want to know about some of the other prospects because I wasn't there. I did not get to go this weekend, but you both were out there, and I think the Elijah, you and I talked about this going into rookie camp of who we were looking forward to seeing the most. I said Hassan Haskins. You said Chig. Who stood out to you between those two and then some others as well?
Chig, to me, actually stood out, even though he didn't get a lot of action in terms of, stuff like throwing to him in 7-on-7s. But there's a lot of things are easy to like about him, and a lot of that's his understanding of the pro game already. Like, he does a really good job of, on 7-on-7s, calling stuff out on the defensive side of the ball. Like, he's he's really advanced in terms of not having to take that learning curve, and you can tell. And Teron noticed the same thing, that we're watching it. He's calling a lot of stuff out and at the line, and would have liked to see the ball thrown to him a little more. But he did make one nice catch at the very end of practice where he caught a pass in stride, had to leap forward a little bit and kind of display that athleticism that he has. So pretty much everything I expected to see is what we end up seeing from him. And Haskins wasn't bad either. Not as notable to me. I definitely was definitely viewing Okonkwo in a lot more of those reps, but there's a lot to like there too. And on the defensive side of the ball, in terms of just other rookies, like Theo Jackson had a really good day on Saturday, and that included a pick six.
Very good.
It did. No, he was, along with the pick. And, of course, the pick happened after, Vrabel made a Rocky Top joke, and he steps right into a pick, returns it. But beyond that, I thought that he seemed to be really all over the place. I just thought he seemed to be locked into what they were trying to do. And
Teron said this morning he was around the ball.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. He was just you can tell. And look, anybody who watched Tennessee last year, he's the best defensive player. He took a huge jump, and you probably give some credit to Tim Banks, and that defensive staff who came in for his last year. But I mean, he took a big jump. He was their best player. And I thought he had a chance to be a steal, going into the draft, and I think that even more now.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. There was so much force in that. Like, he goes hard. Like, Theo Jackson didn't even take plays off, even in that practice. So he's got good practice habits, which is something you want to see from guys that are going to have to try to fight to make the roster. I think Theo Jackson has that part of his game down. And he was able to display that on Saturday, which I thought was pretty impressive.
Yeah, my whole thing, Theo Jackson is one of so many exciting picks that they made in this draft class. And I know that, realistically, they're probably not all going to work out. That's just how it goes with drafting. But on paper, with what I know about these picks, this is probably my favorite class that Robinson's had. And I really want it to work out. Like, I want it to overall, we look back and, Jared likes to ask him about 2019, but this one comes up. 2020. I would love for 2022 to be that draft class that when we're grading John Robinson, hey, that was a really good draft class. Because on paper, it seems like it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, well, with Phillips and Theo, I think that you got real potential there for later picks that end up having real value. And we'll see. I mean, another guy who, he certainly has had his face in the playbook. Chance Campbell was very calling everything out, and and his voice was very apparent out there. Again, it's a rookie minicamp. You gotta keep things in mind. There are a lot of bodies out there who are bodies. You know, I mean, you have to keep that in mind. But I thought you noticed him for sure. So he's another guy who, and as he said, I mean, special teams are going to be a huge part of his story. Okonkwo, this is where, like Okonkwo and Petit Frere, what can you tell? They both look the part.
Sure.
I do think Okonkwo looks real lanky to me. It's going to be real interesting once it's full pads, veterans, how he's able to hang in at the point of attack. Because if he can, then I really think he could make a difference as a rookie. But remember Jonnu Smith as a rookie. I mean, It took him a while.
Well, and that leads me to my next question, because like you said, this is rookies playing with rookies. These are guys fresh out of college playing with guys fresh out of college. And it may be hard to answer this now, but I'm curious of who in your mind could stand out when you put the vets in there. That just looks like they're ready now to play the part in the National Football League.
Well, I'm very interested with Petit Frere, and again, like how much are we actually going to see? But he's going to get, you talk about a guy who's going to get tested. That's one.
Sure.
One thing when you look at a football team, wherever you're strong, that's where that in practice, whoever's opposing that position, they're going to get great looks, and they're going to get looks that might be better than the looks they get on a lot of Sundays. I think you could say that with their offensive tackles, right? The way things are now, the way they're built to rush the passer. So, look, he looks the part, but you got to be, that doesn't necessarily mean a ton. He moved his feet well. You can see, and he looks like an NFL offensive tackle. So, I mean, he's a guy I'm very interested to see. Like Hassan Haskins, I think we'll see why they drafted him when the pads are on, because that's why they drafted him. He's a physical running back. He's a downhill break tackles running back, and it's just something you can't even see in a rookie minicamp setting in helmets.
Right. And Elijah, I think there's some guys that just don't practice well when they're not wearing pads. They're just so used to having all that equipment on that when you put them out there in shells or shirt and t-shirt or shirt and shorts, they're just not. You don't see it all.
Yeah, that's true. Or in the thing with 7-on-7 or in some of these other drills that they do that it simulates a little bit of it, but it doesn't do enough. And that's where with Petit Ferrer, I'm on the fence. I feel like he's going to be the biggest project. Physically, he stands out there with everybody else, and oh, guess which one was the one the Titans drafted as opposed to being an undrafted free agent. Right. And you can point him out easily, and that'd be the easiest one. But there were some times where he had some plays, made some mistakes, and it's there's going to be some coaching that's going to be needed to do. And that's going to be, I think, in terms of all the draft picks that I watched there, he was the one I figured would need the most coaching and the most hands-on assistance on that team right now. And maybe he's not a great practicer. I mean, maybe that's just one of the things, it doesn't show until he's in pads and can be as fully physical as he wants to be, where you maybe learn a little more about him. And to me, this is what makes what Theo Jackson did pretty impressive, because in a position of, safety, it's a physical position, and he was able to still make plays without having to be unnecessarily physical, and things you can do in shorts and a t-shirt. So that was kind of my main takeaways with the practice element of it. Still hard to tell. I'm still kind of grasping at straws watching these guys in these limited situations, but yeah, I mean, Petit Ferrer I think could be a big project.
Yeah, well, he needs to go fast because there's opportunity right now.
There is.
Hey, maybe Dylan Radins is just the lock and key, straight up right tackle, but I think they want both of them to compete.
Well, so who's the guard?
Well, Aaron Brewer I think is a guy who could be the starting guard. Now I think you're preferring him to be a backup. They did sign Jamarco Jones. He could be the left guard too. And Radins, could be. But if Radins is designated for guard, you're telling me that they're just leaving right tackle to Petit Frere, and then who's their third tackle? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's a good point.
I feel like they need one of those two guys, Radins or Petit Frere, to be the swing tackle, don't they?
Yeah.
Now, Jamarco Jones has also played inside out too, but they need some guys to hit. And again, this camp, just think about last camp when we watched Radins get blown by left and right. And you got an indication pretty early that he wasn't ready. These guys are going to have some humblings in camp.
I do wonder, and I think I threw this out to you when we did when I did Robby and Rexrode with you a few weeks ago. I do wonder if at some point in training camp they experiment with moving Ben Jones over to left guard and have Aaron Brewer at center. Because Jones has played guard before. They've tried that before.
Boy, I just I guess it's possible, but
it's probably last resort.
Yeah, it's just Jones is so you think about, again, it depends on the matchups, but like Jones to me at his age, I feel like he's only a center. But I suppose I think you should keep an open mind on just about any kind of movement there. Other than Taylor Lewan. Nate Davis. I would say you probably know Ben Jones. But look, you got to find your best five, and it's just that to me is the biggest problem with this team still after the draft and everything. Is I just don't have a lot of confidence in that offensive line. And if they're not better than last year when they took a step back, then and now you take away a big weapon. It looks like a team that's just going to be so much more reliant on its defense.
3 words: sign Dennis Kelly.
The Indianapolis Colts signed him.
Oh, well, I missed that.
They
trade
should
for
have
Dennis Kelly.
Trade for Dennis Kelly. Didn't do that.
With the Colts.
I'm sure they'd be very, very happy to do business with him.
That's a good move by the Colts.
I think so too.
I was shocked he was still out there.
I don't get it.
I don't either. Coming up next, we will put a bow on this fine show and give you an update on where we're at with the golf tournament, as well as you listen to the DDC, ESPN 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Hey, this is Matt Duchesne, and this is Smashville.
Drummond down the left side with Duchesne. Duchesne scores! Matt Duchesne with the overtime winner.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators Radio Network, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Okay, so you've heard me talk about Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Friday night, that was karaoke night. Went out to my favorite establishment on the west side of town, hung out with my pal, and sang my heart out on a Friday night and had a Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey or two. And I love it because it goes down smooth, and it's made with all-natural flavor, real whiskey, real peanuts, and real peanut butter, and that's what makes it the original peanut butter whiskey, and it's an original like me, this suit. I love it. It doesn't burn, and I can take it as a shot. You can have it as a drink on the rocks. You can have it as an old-fashioned with the peanut butter flavor, which is fantastic. I've tried that too. A PB&J shot with a berry liqueur. You can go to screwballwhiskey.com to find more recipes. But, again, it is fantastic and goes down smooth. So when you're out with your friends, wherever you like to hang out, order Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey and also do like I do. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022 Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Sunny, a little bit less humid, and cooler this afternoon. Highs upper 70s and lower 80s, but we make another run at the 90s in the second half of the week.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Don't miss Nashville SC versus CF Montreal on May 18th at 7:30 p.m. Come on into Geodis Park and get closer, bolder, and golder at Nashville SC's. Single match tickets are on sale now at nashvillesc.com/singletix.
Do you have joint pain in your knees or hips or shoulder or back? Pro football legend Emmitt Smith knows how disruptive it is.
How can you focus? How can you be at your optimal best when your body is under attack by pain?
That's why Emmitt's such a proponent of QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is here with regenerative options using natural biologics, non-surgical alternatives that offer lasting relief for pain in your knees, hips, lower back, and shoulders.
This natural biological treatment gives them the chance to get back in the game and to have a normal life.
QC Kinetics treatments laser focus on areas of intense pain, allowing your body to heal itself with no drugs, so you can focus on normal life.
Walking up the stairs without pain, getting on your bicycle without pain, running again, playing with the kids.
Your consultation is absolutely free.
Call QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024.
Realizing Geico's great service and licensed agents are available at your fingertips is like realizing the plastic piece that comes with your pizza isn't a tiny doll table. It's to keep the box from touching the pizza.
Hey, the pizza's stuck to the box. Where's that little plastic thing?
Dolly needed it for her tea party.
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or how your smartphone charges faster when you put it on airplane mode.
Wow, what if I put it on rocket mode?
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico's industry-leading app lets you pay your bill, file a claim, manage your policy, or summon help when you need it. Or how those holes in your shower caddy are there so you can store your shampoo bottles upside down.
Showers happen fast when you're not waiting on shampoo.
Great service. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Hey, Nashville, it's Chase McKay, Program Director of ESPN 102.5 The Game, and there's a new way that you can hear Nashville's best sports talk. It's on 106.3 FM. From downtown Nashville to Spring Hill on I-65 and to Murfreesboro on I-24, you now have two choices to hear our great sports talk programming. And, of course, the Nashville Predators. Check out 106.3 now and save it as a preset.
Meshing journalism.
They are 2 scores behind you. The math says that increases your chances of winning.
With sports fandom.
I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning, just emotionally numb from Titans and Packers.
And sarcasm.
You guys are the worst.
Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robby and Rexrode. No duh. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
The inaugural Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament is going on right now here at the Hermitage Golf Course. Welcome back into the DDC. Chase McCabe, Joe Rexrode, Elijah Campbell, Jared Stillman has joined the fray as well. You can text DONATE to 615-737-1025. DONATE, 615-737-1025. The latest I got, we've raised just over $7,200 so far for Folds of Honor, which is fantastic. So let's keep that going.
Keep it going.
For such a great cause. Jared, how are you?
I'm fantastic. I mean, it's just a beautiful day to raise some money, beautiful day to support our veterans, beautiful day for golf, which I do not play. But other than that, it's just an absolutely gorgeous day. Glad to be out here.
Yeah, I thought about this. I didn't even ask you to play because I knew you'd be on the air and I knew you'd want to do the show and everything. And so I don't feel bad about it now because you said you don't play. So
yeah, and honestly, I kind of hate it. Like, I have clubs. I know how to play. I can, go out on the course and I can, get by and not ruin the experience for everybody else. But honestly, I don't even like it. You know what I mean? And I know everybody likes playing golf. But personally, I'm not interested in it. I'm more of a water guy. So if we had a day out on a boat, that to raise money would be more for me. So I played in the celebrity. I played in the
Maybe you and
softball game last year.
casting some lines.
No. I go to work though. That's the difference. But no, I mean, yeah, sure, whatever. Fishing, I could do that. But yeah, I played in the Fold of Honor softball game last year. So that kind of stuff. I like that stuff. Golf. I'll sit here and talk about the Titans, and everybody else can golf and have the time of their life.
Now, the long snapper's out here, Morgan Cox. Is that okay that is he here today, or should he be working?
Well, are they supposed to be at work today?
No.
So
I just want to make sure. I know.
Aren't you a big, the podcaster? Let's go Luan the podcaster.
No, what I don't like is when people do things that take their focus away from their jobs. I don't think the long snapper playing golf here is going to affect a snap against Buffalo. I think Traylon Burks being out of shape is a legitimate concern, and everybody else is not that big. It's not that big.
But see, you're taking a leap in saying that he's, quote, out of shape. I mean, they were careful with him Saturday.
Coach, what happened? Guys think they can show up in shape, and I guess they just can't come up in shape. And then I got you guys sitting here listening could be allergies. I'm like, Coach didn't say allergies.
Well, so Jared, just to be clear, since you weren't there because you're too good to show up to these things, they were on the practice field. And then they came right off the practice field, and Vrabel comes in front of us. Do you think Vrabel got consulted on everything that was going on with Traylon Burks at that point? I don't think he had.
I just know Vrabel went out of his way to talk about guys being with their trainers and not being able to be in shape when they show up. And,
But I think that he reacted badly. Again, there was an inhaler involved. There was icing on the shoulders. There was withholding him from stuff the next day. So I don't know that it's as simple as, he's just out of shape.
I'm just going to say, the question is, because I heard you guys talking while I was driving over here, if the question is, should we be worried, the answer is yes.
Oh, worried.
There is no,
majorly
there
worried.
is no way that the answer is no. If you make
Hit
up
the
an
panic
excuse.
button. Here you go. Smash it.
If you make excuses, which everybody seems to do, the hockey team, if the goalie had played, okay. But I feel
You're just in all different directions right now.
My thing with this, with the Traylon Burks thing is, does it make me think that Traylon Burks isn't going to be good? No, it doesn't make me think that. But am I worried about it? Yeah, I'm worried about it because it's not like the Titans didn't take a guy 2 years ago who was lazy and out of shape and overweight, and it hurt them. And so, you got to be worried that hopefully this is not that repeating itself again, but you still have to be worried that that's a possibility.
You don't have to be, but you can be, and you are. So congratulations.
I mean, should we not be? Did that not happen?
I wouldn't be too worried about it. Now, I think that it's worth watching here moving forward. Now the veterans come in this week. Next week we'll be out there again. Look, we were already going to watch Traylon Burks very closely, right? Now that he's out there with the actual professional football players and they're going to do a little bit more in OTAs and then actual minicamp. I think it's important for him to have good days. And I would say if we get to the end of all of that, of the spring stuff, and there's missed reps and there's missed half days and stuff, then it's like, first of all, I'd like to know exactly what it is. Maybe it is as simple as, you're right, Vrabel made the little reference to guys thinking they can be in shape, but it didn't look like just some, oh man, Traylon's out of shape. It looked like he was having an issue.
I will say this. That also kind of felt like the exact right time for Vrabel to get on his soapbox to speak to everybody about our guys need to be here. They don't need to be working out with their own trainers. They need to be here. And so maybe. I mean, because then Kaharski asked to follow up and Vrabel just started talking a bunch of gibberish. So I who knows? I'm just saying, I'm worried. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
I'm shocked.
I think that's a preview of what you're going to have today starting in about 5 minutes. There you go.
Takes.
There you go. He's got takes.
You got takes.
Joe, thanks for hanging out for this hour. Let's go find something to do.
Sounds good. Yeah, you need me to, clean up the clubhouse, or
we might have you sweeping floors. I don't know.
I'm gonna go make sure that people who get holes in one get actual holes in one.
There you go.
How about that?
Stick around though. Stillman and Company featuring Caroline Fenton. That is next on ESPN 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Closing time.